Chapter 2256. After everyone chatted for a while, they prepared to go to Yang Ming's villa. Just as they were about to leave, Yang Ming received a call from Chen Mengyan. Mengyan? How is it? Yang Ming picked up the phone. The food at home is ready. Your women are also back. Chen Mengyan smiled and said, however, Sister Xiaoqing didn't come back. Is she with you? You're really amazing. She is by my side. Yang Ming smiled and said, are the others back? Except for Sister Suya, the others are back. Lu Huamei is also here. Said Chen Mengyan. Ah. She is here too. It's not good for her to come to today's occasion, right? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. It's not good that she is here. You can see for yourself. Anyway, I have agreed. I don't care anymore, said Chen Mengyan. Okay, we will go back right away. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and hung up the phone. Whether it was Yang Ming's villa, Yang Dahai, Mother Yang, Lu Weishan, or Chu Huifang, it was their first time going there. After all, everyone was usually very busy. Yang Ming wasn't at home, so Yang Dahai couldn't take the initiative to go to the place where Chen Mengyan and the other three girls lived. Moreover, Chen Mengyan usually brought Lin Jiyun and Zhou Jiejia to visit them at home. They almost never took the initiative to contact Chen Mengyan. Big Ming, your villa is quite big. Yang Ming sighed as the car stopped at the door of Yang Ming's villa. In the past, he had never been here. He only heard Yang Ming say how comfortable the villa was, but he was reluctant to part with the old neighbors. There was also a kind of attachment and reluctance to part with the old house. But now, seeing Yang Ming's villa, he was a little fond of the new and tired of the old. After all, when he first became the chairman, Yang Dahai didn't feel anything. The community was full of old neighbors. He felt that it was good to live together and take care of each other because of their many years of old relationship. But after a long time, Yang Dahai also found that it wasn't the case. The old neighbors in the community saw that some people were small department leaders in the company, and they began to envy them. They felt that with their relationship with Yang Dahai for many years, they could be a small leader. Even if it wasn't a manager, it should be a small person in charge, right? So, these people began to invite Yang Dahai to eat and gave him some gifts. At first, Yang Dahai helped them arrange some positions in the company because of the relationship with the old neighbors. But after all, although this company was his Yang family, it was Yang Ming's. Yang Dahai couldn't appoint people by favoritism, right? Moreover, some of the neighbors who had relatives and children at home and didn't have jobs wanted to work in Yang Dahai's company through their connections. They began to arrange a few people. Yang Dahai also helped. After all, they had asked and invited you to eat. It wouldn't make sense if you didn't help. But these people were too many, and Yang Dahai was in a dilemma. The company had the company's recruitment system and conditions. It wasn't good to always rely on connections. Although he was the chairman and had the final say in the company, Yang Dahai also saw that it definitely couldn't go on like this. Next, he didn't go to anyone's banquet. The things that other people brought during the holidays were also taken back. However, in this way, the relationship between Yang Dahai and the neighbors could no longer be the same as before. At this time, the people in the community also understood that Yang Dahai was no longer the Yang Dahai of the past. He was the chairman. It was impossible for him to always mix with the old neighbors, and it was impossible for him to change the company's personnel system because of a word from you. In order not to look for trouble, Yang Dahai usually went to work with a straight face. He didn't greet others casually. He also nodded faintly to his subordinates. In this way, Yang Dahai felt that it was meaningless. In the position of the chairman, it was no longer possible to maintain the friendship with the old neighbors like before. Those people all associated with Yang Dahai with awe and purpose. Yang Dahai could only avoid them, therefore, over time, Yang Dahai was not willing to live in the former community. He had wanted to move away for a long time, but his son wasn't at home. He went to perform a mission and didn't come back safely. Yang Dahai didn't have any thoughts of moving, but when he came here and saw Yang Ming's villa, he also had some thoughts. Dad, why don't you and Mom move here too? The villa next to us is Yinyan's. She has moved here to live with me now. The villa is also empty. Yang Ming saw his father's thoughts and pointed to the villa next to him. Yanyan? Yang Dahai was slightly stunned. He didn't know who Yang Ming was talking about, but it was a girl's name. Also, move here to live with Yang Ming? What does this mean? Yang Dahai subconsciously understood something. He looked at the villa next to Yang Ming and looked at Yang Ming. You didn't even let go of the neighbor? The neighbor's girl was also taken by you. Sweat. Yang Ming suddenly sweated and realized that he had spilled the beans, but he had to explain, no, when I met her, we weren't neighbors. It was only because of some coincidences that we got together. Moreover, she and I are actually officially engaged. Her family is in Europe's Butterfly Castle. We have already held an engagement ceremony. Engagement? How come I don't know? Yang Dahai looked at Yang Ming inexplicably. He didn't know what he was talking about. When did you get engaged? I'm your father. How come I didn't know? This is a long story. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. The reason why I am so powerful is actually because I have a master. My master and this girl's family have an engagement. That is, his disciple will marry this girl, so, Yang Dahai and Mother Yang were confused. That is to say, you have another girlfriend? Meng Yan also knows. Yang Ming quickly brought Chen Mengyan out, indicating that Chen Mengyan had no opinion. Then, Qing, do you also know? Mother Yang looked at Xiao Qing and asked. Of course, I know. We live together every day. Xiao Qing smiled and said, our relationship is very good. Auntie, you don't have to worry about anything unpleasant. Ai, Big Ming, even I, as a mother, can't see through you. It seems that since the 3rd year of high school, you suddenly shocked the world. Not only did you get admitted to a good university, but you could also make money. You also joined the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Your skills were amazing. The women around you were also one after another. They were all beautiful and well-educated girls. Mother Yang shook her head. Chapter 2257. Hee. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Wasn't it because of the problem in the 3rd year of high school? That year, Yang Ming unexpectedly obtained the magical glasses that Sun Sikong gave him. He suddenly gained a lot of self-confidence, which allowed Yang Ming to walk out of the shadow of self-abandonment. In fact, sometimes in retrospect, this pair of glasses was a small trick. It wasn't the final key to success. The final key to success was the mentality. Yang Ming's mentality was different. He had the heart of a strong person. In this way, it allowed Yang Ming to succeed step by step. Among them, although the glasses had played some indispensable role, without the glasses, Yang Ming's starting point might be lower than now, but it wasn't completely impossible to succeed. At least, meeting Fang Tian and Lan Ling, these things were predestined. At most, in some occasions, he couldn't use the X-ray vision ability. Without this ability, Ong Ming would have some difficulties when fighting with Jin Gang's men and Wang Xiaoyan's men. He would suffer a little, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. After that, Yang Ming had been relying less and less on this X-ray vision ability. He wouldn't use this pair of glasses unless it was a critical moment. He relied on his own ability, so Yang Ming couldn't help but sigh. Everything is a problem of mentality. What are you laughing at? Qing, tell me. Is Yang Ming still hiding something from us? Mother Yang saw that Yang Ming couldn't say anything, so she turned to Xiao Qing and asked, Qing, you can't hide from us. Uncle, Auntie. Xiao Qing smiled bitterly. Let her say Yang Ming. How should she say it? Okay, you don't have to make it difficult for Qing Qing. What do you want her to say? Yang Dahai shook his head and said, I think we should let Big Ming say it himself. Xiao Qing shrugged and expressed helplessness. Dad, Mom, let's talk about it inside. Yang Ming said, wait a while. You will all know. You know everything? Mother Yang was slightly surprised. Sure enough, you still have something to hide from me? This. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and said, there are indeed some things that I didn't say. Could it be that you have other women besides Qing Qing? Mother Yang was quite sensitive right now. So, when she saw Yang Ming's expression, she immediately guessed the meaning behind his words. Xiao Qing smiled slightly and looked at Yang Ming mischievously. She meant that she didn't say it, but Auntie guessed it herself. Fuck, Mom, you really can predict things like a god. Yang Ming said. Sure enough, there is more. Mother Yang was stunned. I say, Big Ming, aren't you a bit too much? Although I don't mind having too many as my daughter-in-law, and I will definitely be very happy when I give birth to a lot of grandchildren, it can't be said that there is no limit to the number of children, right? But whoever shows her face more will be favored in the future. Hee hee, okay, Ling Ling, then you go. You are the youngest, so it is normal to be favored the most. Chen Mengyan smiled. Lan Ling's age was there. Even Chen Mengyan didn't want to compete with her. Anyway, she was a little sister. It was fine to give in to her. None of you should go out. Although we don't care about anything now, it's too eye-catching to go out together like this. We have to consider what my parents think. It'll be weird if other people see us like this. So, just wait in the living room. Yang Ming said, Yen Yen, you come with me and open the door of your villa. There is no place for the car to park. Me? I will give you the key. I won't go out. Wang Xiaoyan was slightly stunned and shook her head. Chapter 2258. She had never met Yang Ming's parents. Although they were officially married, she was embarrassed to take the initiative to go out at this time. Why, Yen Yen? Aren't you the most courageous? Just now, you were holding a knife and even wanted to kill the fatty. Now, you are scared? Yang Ming said with a smile. Then I will go. What can I do? Wang Xiaoyan was provoked by Yang Ming, but she was confident instead. At most, I will be scolded. How can I die? I will go. Hee hee, you don't even know how to scold, let alone die. Yang Ming took Wang Xiaoyan's hand and walked out of the villa. Dad, Mom, this is Yen Yen. Yang Ming said with a smile, her identity is very special. Her kung fu is also very good. She is my right-hand woman. I have carried out many missions with her in the past. Yang Ming said this to emphasize Wang Xiaoyan's position in his heart so that his parents wouldn't treat her as an ordinary vase. Yang's father and mother Yang listened to Yang Ming's words. They really looked at Wang Xiaoyan with admiration. She is really a valiant and beautiful girl. She is likable at first glance. No wonder Yang Ming wants to keep her by his side. Mother Yang smiled and looked at Wang Xiaoyan. The more she looked, the more she liked her. Yang Dahai didn't care. Anyway, Yang Ming liked her. If it didn't affect the harmony of the family, it wasn't a big deal to have one more girl. Uncle, Auntie. Wang Xiaoyan greeted them respectfully. Good, good. Mother Yang smiled from ear to ear. Then, she suddenly remembered a very important matter, right, old Yang, did you bring money? Bring money? Bring what money? Yang Dahai was stunned after listening. Change the payment. Mother Yang said, Mengyan, Zhiyun, and Jiejia have all given money. We can't not give them money, right? What about Qingqing and Yen Yen? Mom, we are a family. We don't need to talk about a change fee. We are not short of money. Yang Ming couldn't help but laugh after listening. So, Qing Qing and Yen Yen can change their words now. How can that be? This is a rule. Others have it, but Qing Qing and Yen Yen don't. That won't do. Mother Yang said, Old Yang, go to the bank and withdraw 20,000 yuan. Wrap it in a red envelope. Okay, I will go now. Yang Dahai nodded and said. Mom, 20,000, I'm afraid it's not enough. After Yang Ming heard his mother's words, he suddenly smiled bitterly. Not enough? Mother Yang was stunned. Meng Yan and the others only gave 10,000 yuan each. If it was more, our family could afford it, but wouldn't that be unfair? Auntie, when Yang Ming said that it wasn't enough, he didn't mean that the amount of 10,000 yuan wasn't enough. Rather, it wasn't just the two of us who were waiting for the change fee. There were other people in the family. Xiao Qing explained with a smile. There are other people? Then, Old Yang, don't go first. Let me ask Big Ming first. Mother Yang quickly stopped Yang Ming's footsteps and asked Yang Ming, Big Ming, what's going on? How many people are there? Mom, there are still. Yang Ming couldn't count for a while. He didn't know if Lu Huamei counted, so he could only smile bitterly. Mom, this is the change fee. We're not in a hurry today. You and Dad can come in first. At most, we can let them change their words first. Then, we can give them a red envelope later. If that's the case, that's the only way. Yang Ming had no choice but to nod and let Yang Dahai park the car. Then, everyone walked into the villa together. As soon as they entered the villa, Yang Dahai and Mother Yang were shocked by the situation in the villa's living room. They saw a row of beautiful girls standing at the door in order. Every one of them was a first-class little beauty. There were familiar faces and unfamiliar faces. However, no matter how slow Mother Yang's reaction was, she understood that this was what Yang Ming meant by 20,000 was not enough. Hello, Uncle and Auntie. The girls greeted Yang Dahai and Mother Yang respectfully. Chen Mengyan, Zhou Jiejia, and Lin Jiyun had already changed their words. However, at this time, they bowed respectfully but didn't speak in order to not highlight their special status. Good, good. Although Mother Yang was shocked, she was also overjoyed. With so many daughters-in-law, how many grandsons and granddaughters would she have? At that time, she could open a kindergarten herself. How cool would it be if she appointed herself as the head of the kindergarten? Hello. Yang Dahai was a person who had seen the world. At this moment, although his heart was shocked, his face was calm and kind. He nodded to the girls. Big Ming, why don't you introduce them to us one by one? Mother Yang looked at Yang Ming with a smile. Big Ming, is this all of them? There's no more, right? Otherwise, I'd better prepare this red packet. Ugh. Actually, there is one more, but she didn't come back. Yang Ming said with a bitter smile. Suya? Mother Yang saw that Suya wasn't among these people, so she asked. Not her. It's another one called Shinyushi. You may have heard of this name. Her matter had attracted a lot of attention in our Songjiang city. Yang Ming said. Shinyushi. Mother Yang frowned. She was familiar, but she didn't have much of an impression. Shinyushi? Yang Dahai had an impression. After all, Mingyang Heavy Industry was also a brother company of the Mingyang Group. He had heard a lot of things that happened at Mingyang Entertainment. Is it the girl who was molested by a group of bullies and then jumped down the building and broke her legs in order to not be humiliated? That's her. Yang Ming nodded and said, this girl's life experience is very pitiful, and, the matter at the beginning was a bit strange. As Yang Ming spoke, he explained the matter with Shinyushi to his parents again, as well as the treatment of her legs. He also told them about it. It turned out to be like this. Since Meng Yan didn't say anything, we can't say anything as elders. Mother Yang nodded and said, this girl is very pitiful. Big Ming, if you have time, you should pick her up. Moreover, since you already have the confidence to treat her legs, you should visit her earlier. If it was anyone else, they would have a knot in their heart because of this matter. I know. I will go to Songsan City tomorrow and pick her up. Yang Ming nodded and said. That's good. Mother Yang nodded. Now, let's introduce everyone here first. Do you want to introduce Meng Yan, or do you want to introduce yourself, Yang Ming? Dad, Mom, let me say it first. Meng Yan and the others can add in the parts that I didn't say completely. Yang Ming wasn't willing to use others to talk about this matter. It was better to say it himself. Chapter 22:59. Then you quickly say it. Your dad and I can't wait. Mother Yang nodded and said. Dad, Mom, I will start from the beginning. Meng Yan, Zhiyun, and Jejia, you all know these three people, so I won't say much. Yang Ming said, and Ling Ling is the same. I won't say it. You all know about Qing Qing's life, so I won't say it. I will start with Yan Yan. The reason why my kung fu is so powerful is that I have a master. My master is called Fang Tian, but he also has a nickname, the King of Assassins. Yang Ming said, and I am his disciple. What, the King of Assassins? Yang Dahai, Mother Yang, and the others were stunned. Yes, it is the King of Assassins. He and Yin Yan's father were sworn brothers in the past. Currently, he and Yin Yan's aunt have a good relationship. As Yang Ming said, he talked about how he worshipped Fang Tian as his master and how he knew Wang Xiaoyan. Of course, some details in the middle were omitted. He only said that Wang Xiaoyan was assassinated when she was in Macau. As for Fang Tian's matter, Fatty and the others weren't unfamiliar with it. After all, Yang Ming's mission this time was very dangerous. These people in the family had also publicized their relationship and cooperated sincerely. They wanted to guard the rear camp for Yang Ming. Especially after the photo incident, Fang Tian's identity was exposed. However, these didn't matter. Yang Ming didn't intend to hide it. Yang Ming was about to move to a private island. As for his identity, there was nothing to hide. Besides, Yang Ming killed Elder Yu. It was impossible to be low-key. Elder Yu, a mysterious overlord who was invulnerable, was killed by Yang Ming. Then, how could Yang Ming be low-key? After Mother Yang heard about Wang Xiaoyan's life and that Yang Ming was the king of assassins, she couldn't help but be amazed. Yang Ming's encounters were simply legendary. They didn't expect that Yang Ming actually achieved such impressive results in a short period of time. After that, Yang Ming introduced other people to his parents. When Yang Ming introduced Zhao Ying was shy and ashamed. Her former identity was Yang Ming's teacher. Although in this enlightened era, a teacher-student relationship wasn't unacceptable. This wasn't ancient times. It wasn't the era of Yang Gua and Xiao Longnu, but Zhao Ying was still afraid that Yang Dahai and Mother Yang would look down on her. However, Yang Ming's introduction was also detailed. Mother Yang heard that Zhao Ying quit her job for Yang Ming. In order to close the gap between them, she applied for graduate school. She couldn't help but admire, Ying, you are really a girl who dares to love and hate. It's really not easy to make such a decision. But it's also good. You and Yang Ming are now classmates. Even if your former high school classmates know, it's not a big deal. But, your relationship with Qing Qing needs to be resolved quickly. Although you and Qing Qing aren't direct teachers and students, after all, she is also your dean. If others say something unpleasant, I don't care about your father and I, but you have to think about your godfather and godmother. Mom, you can rest assured. This matter has already been arranged properly. Yang Ming smiled and said, when I left from Yaojiang to perform the mission, the school should have been arranged properly. Brother Xia should have already told godfather, right? Yes, Captain Xia Bingbao has already arranged it. Yang Ming has now graduated early. Of course, because of Yang Ming's relationship, the girls around Yang Ming will also graduate early. Lu Weishan said, as for Qing Qing, I have already told her that when Yang Ming comes back, she will resign. There will be no other troublesome things. Mother Yang heard that everything was arranged properly, and she suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that she was still worried. Yang Ming had already arranged everything. Yang Ming had grown up. He was no longer the child of the past. Yang Ming introduced Sun Jia, Jing Xiaolu, Huang Lele, and others. Sun Jia had the image of a capable strong woman. Jing Xiaolu was now the standard white-collar image. Both of them were natural and unrestrained. How could Mother Yang think that Sun Jia was usually a vixen? And Jing Xiaolu used to be a delinquent girl? Of course, for these, Yang Ming did not say in detail, and he would not say it. For this kind of thing, it was enough for Yang Ming to know it himself. There was no need for his parents to know. As for Huang Lele, Mother Yang heard that she had been interning in the airline company to help Yang Ming build and manage the airport on Island X. She was even more fond of her. She felt that the women around Yang Ming were more capable than the other. None of them was just a pretty face. And this is Chen Mingxi. Her original name is Victoria. She is a slave that Yan Yan and I rescued when we were performing a mission. Yang Ming pointed to Victoria and said, "She is also my woman." After she came here, she changed her name to Chen Mingxi. She claimed to be a relative of Chen Mengyan. In fact, she is very powerful. She is the bodyguard of Chen Mengyan and the others. The relationship between Victoria and Yang Ming was actually very strange. Yang Ming also knew that since Victoria had recognized him as her master, it was impossible for her to become someone else's slave in this life, and it was impossible for her to marry someone else. Therefore, Victoria's final destination was actually best to be with Yang Ming. This was a fact that Chen Mengyan and others had already accepted. Moreover, Victoria also regarded herself as a slave and servant. She never interfered with Chen Mengyan's affairs. Whatever Chen Mengyan said, she carried it out meticulously, so Chen Mengyan had no ill will toward her. "Hello, uncle and auntie. I am Yang Ming's slave. You don't have to mind me. I won't fight for anything." Chen Mengxi was a person of few words. She had this kind of character. After she finished speaking, she stood quietly and did not speak. Her self-introduction was just as Yang Ming imagined. She claimed to be a slave. Usually, she didn't communicate with everyone. She just stayed in her room. When everyone called her, she would come out. To get along, Chen Mingxi only had a little communication with Chen Mengyan and Wang Xiaoyan. Usually, she was always sullen. "Ah. That won't do. What kind of slave? Our family doesn't like this. Once you enter the family, I will treat you equally. I will treat you as my daughter-in-law. Mengyan, as your mother-in-law, I shouldn't care about your affairs, but I hope you don't bully Chen Mingxi," said Mother Yang. Mother Yang obviously misunderstood the relationship between Victoria and Yang Ming. She thought that they were playing a maid game. In one sentence, she positioned Victoria as her daughter-in-law. Chapter 2260. "Mom, am I that kind of person?" Chen Mengyan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I treat Chen Mingxi as a sister, but she insisted that she was Yang Ming's slave. I can't do anything about it." Chen Mengyan had already accepted Victoria and tacitly accepted her existence in her life. Since Mother Yang had already treated Victoria as her daughter-in-law, then Chen Mengyan had no need to be the bad guy. "Okay, Victoria, you're not a slave in the future. You should interact more with Mengyan and the others. Don't be too unsociable," Yang Ming could only say to Victoria when he saw his mother looking at him. To be honest, Yang Ming didn't have much feelings for Victoria. At most, he would develop feelings for her over time. However, since he had accepted her, he couldn't treat her as a slave anymore. "Okay." Victoria listened to Yang Ming's words and nodded directly. In the end, Yang Ming's gaze fell on Lu Huamei. It was easy for Yang Ming to introduce other people, but how could he introduce Lu Huamei? Yang Ming's relationship with Lu Huamei wasn't as deep as his relationship with Shen Yushi, but Lu Huamei was also attending his family banquet. This was Lu Huamei's attitude, a firm attitude. Since she was here, it was enough to see her choice. Moreover, Yang Ming had told her a lot of secrets about himself before. It wouldn't be right if he didn't accept her now. Auntie, let me introduce myself. Lu Huamei saw Yang Ming looking at her, but she took the initiative to stand up and said, My name is Lu Huamei. I'm not Yang Ming's wife yet. I should say that I'm Yang Ming's woman-to-be. In the beginning, I agreed to be Yang Ming's woman because I wanted Yang Ming to do me a favor. I'm not someone who goes back on my words, so I have to fulfill my promise. Child, if there's nothing between you and Yang Ming, then I'll make the decision. You don't have to do this. You can leave whenever you want. No one can force you. Mother Yang quickly said after hearing Lu Huamei's words, As for Big Ming helping you, that's because he enjoys helping others. How can this be a condition? Auntie, you've misunderstood. Lu Huamei smiled bitterly after hearing Mother Yang's words. At first, I did have the thought of repaying his kindness. But now, I'm his pursuer and admirer. As my contact with Yang Ming increased, and I heard a lot about Yang Ming, I couldn't help but fall in love with him. I think that if I leave him, I will definitely regret it. I will never find such an outstanding man again. If that's the case, why should I give up? That's why I shamelessly followed you here today. Auntie, please help me persuade Yang Ming to accept me as well. Ugh. Mother Yang widened her eyes as she listened to Lu Huamei's words and looked at her firm expression. She didn't know what to say. Is my son that good? There are already so many women, but there's still one who wants to enter the family like a moth to a flame. However, Mother Yang couldn't say anything about this. She was an elder after all. Whether she accepted Lu Huamei or not still depended on Yang Ming's opinion. She couldn't force her son, right? So Mother Yang looked at Yang Ming and asked, Big Ming, I think this girl is pretty good. She's beautiful and generous. The rarest thing is that she keeps her promise. She dares to love and hate. What do you think? Although Mother Yang didn't explicitly agree to Lu Huamei's matter, her words were full of praise for Lu Huamei. She wanted Yang Ming to accept her. How could Yang Ming not understand his mother's meaning? He didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he said, Mom, since I can let her come here and tell her some of our family's secrets in front of her, it means that I have accepted her. Hee, I actually have a good impression of her. Who doesn't like beautiful women? Feelings can be cultivated slowly. The most important thing is that Meng Yan didn't object. Why should I object? Anyway, Lu Huamei is very good at doing business. Our family doesn't lack anything except people to manage the business. When we go to Island X in the future, it's impossible to rely on Sun Jia and Xiaolu to manage everything. It's not bad to have Lu Huamei join us. Lu Huamei was relieved when she heard Yang Ming admit that he had accepted her. However, Yang Ming didn't seem to like her very much. She was a little depressed. Why did I fall in love with him, but he still hasn't fallen in love with me? However, thinking about it, this was also a challenge for her. It was quite interesting to make Yang Ming fall in love with her. She was closer to Jing Xiaolu, so she was very clear about Jing Xiaolu and Yang Ming's relationship history. How could Lu Huamei not know how difficult it was for Jing Xiaolu to change from someone Yang Ming hated to someone Yang Ming liked? Her starting point was much higher than Jing Xiaolu's. She didn't believe that she, Lu Huamei, couldn't do what Jing Xiaolu did. Okay, the introductions are over. Let's eat. Chen Mengyan greeted, Dad, Mom, Brother Tianqi, sister-in-law Xiaojing, let's eat. Today is really a family feast. Lu Weishan, Chu Huifang, Lu Tianqi, and Chen Xiaojing weren't outsiders, so there was no need to be polite. At this moment, Yang Ming's super large dining table showed its advantage. Chen Mengyan asked Sun Jie to customize this dining table shortly after Yang Ming left because there were too many women in the family. The previous dining table couldn't fit all of them. After Yang Ming came back, Yang Ming's parents, and so on, they needed a bigger dining table. Therefore, this dining table was designed to be a combination dining table that could fit 30 people. When there were fewer people, there would be fewer combinations. When there were more people, there would be more combinations. Anyway, this villa was very spacious. They could just set it up casually in the living room. Therefore, after the family sat down, they started to eat the reunion dinner. Everyone was family, so they didn't have to be so particular and didn't have to be polite with each other. The meal lasted for 3 to 4 hours. At the dining table, Mother Yang was also familiar with Yang Ming's women. Of course, this was also because Yang Ming's women deliberately flattered her. Moreover, everyone changed their greetings. They called Yang Ming's parents Mom and Dad, and called Lu Weishan and Chu Huifang Godfather and Godmother. Even Lu Huamei and Victoria, who had always been silent, were no exception. Even Victoria knew how to please Mother Yang. This surprised the women. It turned out that Victoria wasn't stupid. However, the meal was almost finished. Yang Ming also had a very important thing to tell everyone. Although it was just a reunion today and these words would affect everyone's mood, Yang Ming had to say it because Yang Ming didn't have much time to stay at home this time. Chapter 2261. Yang Ming came back this time to reunite with Chen Mengyan at home and accompany his parents for a few days. He was about to embark on a new journey. The Central and Dr. Benjamin's matter had not been resolved yet, so Yang Ming couldn't relax. In this trip to Miaojiang, Dong Jun was the one who contributed the most in dealing with Elder Yu. It could be said that Elder Yu's current situation was entirely due to Dong Jun's contribution. Yang Ming also promised Dong Jun that he would help Dong Jun deal with the Central and Dr. Benjamin after returning. Yang Ming couldn't break his promise. Although Yang Ming could delay it for a few days, Yang Ming had experienced this mission to deal with Elder Yu in Miaojiang. He also experienced the feeling of not being able to deal with Elder Yu, so Yang Ming understood Dong Jun's feelings very well. Most likely, Dong Jun was the same as Yang Ming at this moment. They were very anxious, and each day felt like a year. As long as Benjamin's matter was not resolved, he and his sister, Alice, could not take it lightly and live a peaceful life. Therefore, Yang Ming must help Dong Jun solve this matter as soon as possible. Therefore, Yang Ming had to say, Dad, Mom, Godfather, Godmother, second brother, sister-in-law, and my wives, I have something to tell you in advance. As Yang Ming spoke until here, he paused. Although he was very embarrassed, he had no choice. Big Ming, what's the matter? Why are you being so mysterious? Mother Yang looked at Yang Ming with some doubts and asked. Things are like this. Yang Ming sighed. After coming back this time, I may not stay for a few days. I have to leave. You still have to leave? Mother Yang suddenly froze and frowned. What's wrong? Isn't this the last mission? Why do you still have to leave? This mission is indeed the last mission of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but I'm not leaving for the mission this time. I'm leaving to help a friend. Yang Ming said, second brother and second sister-in-law should already know what it is. Lu Tianqi and Chen Shaojing naturally nodded. They knew about Dong Jun's matter. They also knew that Yang Ming wanted to help Dong Jun after coming back this time, so it was not unusual for Yang Ming to leave again. Dong Jun. Wang Xiaoyan immediately guessed Yang Ming's intentions. Wang Xiaoyan also understood Dong Jun's thoughts and intentions the most. Chen Mengyan and the others were no strangers to Dong Jun. At this time, when they heard Wang Xiaoyan, they roughly understood it. Yes, it's Dong Jun, Yang Ming nodded. This time, in the Miaojiang operation, Dong Jun's contribution is great because of the reason why I can successfully deal with Elder Yu. Without Dong Jun, I may not be able to complete the mission for a long time. Second brother and second sister-in-law are also deeply aware of this. Yes, how long have Xiaojing and I been away from home? My parents know. For so many years, we have been trapped in Miaojiang's Elder Yu's territory. We can't leave. If it weren't for Yang Ming and Dong Jun, we wouldn't be able to come back now. Lu Tianqi nodded and said, Dong Jun's contribution in this operation is indeed great. Is Dong Jun's matter very troublesome and difficult to deal with? Mother Yang did not stop after listening, but asked. It's hard to say now. If it's fast, it may be done in a few days. If it's slow, it may take a while. Yang Ming said, but no matter what, I have to go abroad. You still have to go abroad. Mother Yang was a little worried after listening. Will it be dangerous? There definitely won't be any danger. Yang Ming smiled and said, Mom, now your son has inherited Elder Yu's skill. I am invulnerable. Don't look at me like a normal person now. When I encounter danger, the super-modified version of Jin Gang Voodoo can be activated passively. If you don't believe me, you can try to cut me with a knife and you will know. Ah. Mother Yang was very surprised after listening to Yang Ming's words. You mean, you are invulnerable now? Isn't that the same as Superman? Almost. Yang Ming thought about it. He was really similar to Superman. Not only was he invulnerable, but he also had X-ray vision and telescopic vision. What was the difference between this and Superman? Auntie, I can testify to this. Now, there is almost nothing that can hurt Yang Ming. Lu Tianqi said, so Yang Ming is going to help this time. It is only a matter of time. Let's see if it is troublesome, and if there is any danger. It is good that there is no danger. Mother Yang was most afraid of danger. When she heard Yang Ming say it before, she was a little skeptical. However, with Lu Tianqi's testimony, she didn't doubt that it was fake. It was just that Yang Ming's superhuman ability shocked her. Then, when you go out this time, will it be the same as before? You can't contact your family? Asked Yang Dahai. This time, naturally, it won't be. I can contact them at any time. Yang Ming said, moreover, if I want to come back, I can come back at any time. There are no restrictions. That's good. In this case, Dong Jun has helped you so much. He is asking you for help. You should do your best. Yang Dahai said, you don't have to care about our feelings. When your matter is over, it will be the time for us to reunite. Yeah, it just so happens that Sister Sun Jia and I are helping our dad to slowly transfer the company and industry to X Island. Since you have decided to settle in X Island with us, we have to prepare for a period of time in advance. Chen Mengyan also said, and during this time, you can't help much. It just so happens that we are busy with our own things, and you are busy with yours. We won't delay anything. Ugh. Yang Ming originally thought that he would have to spend a lot of time convincing his family and his wives, but he didn't expect everyone to be very open-minded. They were very supportive of him helping Dong Jun. There was no objection at all. This made Yang Ming very gratified. Well, it's settled. I will do it in the next few days. The sooner I solve it, the better. When everything is solved, we will go to X Island in seclusion. Things were settled like this. After dinner, Lu Weishan's family and the fatty left first, while Yang Dahai and Mother Yang stayed here. Anyway, there were many rooms. However, because this villa was the love nest of Chen Mengyan and the other women and Yang Ming, Yang Dahai and Mother Yang also knew that Yang Ming and the other women were definitely newlyweds. They wouldn't be able to rest tonight. As parents-in-law, they didn't want to be an eyesore here, so they decided to go to Wang Xiaoyan's villa later. Now, Yang Dahai and Sun Jia were discussing the migration of the company and industry, and Mother Yang was chatting with the other women. Chapter 2262. After the meal, the girls and Mother Yang were familiar with each other. Now, they had changed their address from auntie to mother. This made Mother Yang smile from ear to ear. She planned to build a super kindergarten after going to X Island. Then, she would personally serve as the principal. How happy would that be? They chatted until 11 o'clock in the evening. It was almost time. Although Yang Dahai still had a lot of things to confirm with Sun Jia and Jing Xiaolu, and Mother Yang still had a lot of questions to ask the girls, she also knew that her son had just returned. He would definitely be intimate with the girls at night. How could she, as a mother-in-law, delay them? As the saying goes, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Every minute of the spring night was worth 1,000 gold, so Yang Dahai and Mother Yang stood up and prepared to leave when they saw that it was almost time. Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan sent Yang Dahai and Mother Yang to the villa next door. Dad, Mom, this is Yan Yan's villa, but Yan Yan will definitely live with me in the future, so this villa is empty. You can live here. Yang Ming said, see if you need anything. I will ask someone to buy it for you. Big Ming, you don't have to trouble yourself. I think this place is very good. It doesn't lack anything, just some kitchenware. Tomorrow, I will ask the driver, Little Wang, to buy it. You have a lot of things to do. How can I trouble you? Yang Dahai looked at the villa and was very satisfied. This was originally a place where Wang Xiaoyan lived as a girl. It was clean and tidy. Many of the furniture were new. The electrical appliances were also new. They had not been used much. In addition to the room on the second floor where Wang Xiaoyan lived, there was also a gym. Most of the other rooms were empty. They just needed to be simply decorated. Little Wang? You mean Wang Lin? When Yang Ming heard the name, he remembered his former driver. After he left, he introduced him to his father to drive. He didn't expect that his father still needed him. Little Wang is a good person. His driving skills are also good. His legs are diligent, but I usually drive to and from work. Little Wang just drives me out when I am in the company. Yang Dahai said. Yang Dahai now had 2 cars. One was the Audi A8 that he was currently driving, and the other was the newly bought Mercedes-Benz S60OL. The S60OL was driven by Little Wang. I haven't seen him in a long time, I'll ask him to drive me to Songshan tomorrow. Yang Ming said emotionally. Alright, I will talk to him tomorrow. Yang Dahai nodded. As for the rooms here, I won't touch yours and Yin Yan's. I won't touch your training room either, in case you don't have a place to stay when you return. Mother Yang had already walked around the villa and was very satisfied. This was a big house. The more she looked at it, the more she liked it. However, she was a little worried. Big Ming, how is the security here? There shouldn't be any bad guys at night, right? When Yang Ming heard his mother's words, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mom, you can rest assured. Let's not talk about the security here. They are all the subordinates of Xiaolu's company. They will focus on patrolling around here. Wang Xiaoyan explained, but let's not talk about this first. Yang Ming was afraid that it wouldn't be safe in my house, so he completely remodeled the security system. Unless it was an assassin like me and Yang Ming, who could sneak in, if it was an ordinary person, it would be impossible to come in. Then I'm relieved. Mother Yang listened and nodded. Otherwise, such a big house is really a little scary. Even if this isn't the case, Yan Yan lives next door. Her alertness isn't ordinary. Most likely, before the bad guys could get close to you, they would be killed by Yan Yan. Yang Ming said. You make it sound so scary. Kill. As Mother Yang spoke until here, she thought about it. Which of her son's missions wasn't scarier than these little thieves? So, she shook her head and said, okay, you go back first. You don't have to accompany me and your dad. Both of us also enjoy our life. This villa is very good. We have to visit it. Okay, then we will go back. Yang Ming smiled and said, right, there are candles in the kitchen. You can play candlelight supper. Good. Yang Dahai laughed. Yang Ming and Wang Xiaoyan returned to the villa, but they found that the living room was empty. There was no one. This situation made Yang Ming feel a little strange. Where is everyone? What do you think? Wang Xiaoyan smiled and said, they are all waiting for you upstairs. Ugh, it can't be. Yang Ming didn't expect Shen Mengyan to be like this, but he was surprised and happy. But they didn't call me. Really? Wang Xiaoyan said with some dissatisfaction, forget it. I am going to take a shower. You go upstairs first, let's shower together. Yang Ming smiled. N. Wang Xiaoyan hesitated and nodded. She thought to herself, who asked you not to wait for me? But the latecomer is still the most popular. Early the next morning, only Yang Ming got up. The others, including Wang Xiaoyan and Victoria who had undergone professional training, lazily slept in. However, Yang Ming was full of energy. He didn't know if it was because of the simplified version of the vigor voodoo. Anyway, Yang Ming seemed to be full of energy. This was the case when he had not practiced the mental cultivation method that Mo Kongwen gave him. Yang Ming thought that if he practiced the mental cultivation method that Mo Kongwen gave him, would he be more energetic? Yang Ming called Little Wang. Unexpectedly, Little Wang had already driven to the door of Yang Ming's villa. Little Wang, long time no see. How are you? Are you and your girlfriend okay? Yang Ming smiled and nodded to Little Wang. Little Wang drove the Mercedes-Benz S60OL today. When he saw Yang Ming, he quickly got out of the car and helped Yang Ming open the door of the front passenger seat. Brother Yang, you are back. My girlfriend and I are married. I really have to thank Brother Yang for this. If it weren't for Brother Yang giving me this opportunity, I reckon that my mother-in-law would have broken us up long ago. Don't even mention marriage. Hee, my dad has always used you. It means that you are a very good person. Do your best. Yang Ming nodded and said, let's go. Let's go to Songshan City. Songshan City Medical University. Songshan City Medical University. Okay, Brother Yang. Little Wang nodded. After getting in the car, he used the navigation to find the place Yang Ming was going. Yang Ming nodded. Because Yang Ming had already told Shen Mengyan and the others last night that he was going to visit Shen Yushi today, he didn't say anything in the morning. He didn't want to disturb their rest. Little Wang's driving skills had improved a lot. He shuttled nimbly in the traffic and soon got on the highway, heading straight in the direction of Songshan City. Chapter 2263. Yang Ming closed his eyes and began to think about the next step of the plan. After Shen Yushi's matter was dealt with, Yang Ming and Dong Jun were going to discuss how to deal with Dr. Benjamin. Dong Jun left first. I don't know if Dong Jun has found a way to deal with Dr. Benjamin. If Dr. Benjamin is sensible, then it's best. If not, maybe I will have to deal with him for a while. Brother Yang, we are here. Little Wang's voice sounded. Yang Ming recovered and found that they had arrived at Songshan Medical University. Yang Ming asked Little Wang to stop the car at the door of Guan Shuamin's villa and said, you wait for me here. If I don't come out at noon, you can go nearby and eat something by yourself. It's okay, Brother Yang. Don't worry about me. I will wait for you here. When I am hungry, I will order KFC takeout. Little Wang laughed. As a driver, Little Wang also had the rules and awareness of being a driver. When Yang Dahai took him out to do things, he usually didn't leave the car. He would buy snacks nearby. If there were no snacks, he would order takeout. Yang Ming nodded and didn't say anything more. No wonder father values Little Wang more. It seems that there is a reason. Little Wang is a good person. When the doorbell rang, Auntie Lu opened the door. Auntie Lu knew Yang Ming, so she didn't ask much and let Yang Ming into the house. Guan Shuamin was reading in the study upstairs at the moment. When he heard the doorbell, he knew that there was a guest. When he went downstairs, he saw Yang Ming coming in. Big Ming, you are here. Guan Shuamin saw Yang Ming and was very happy and enthusiastic. After all, through Yang Ming, he contacted Lin Dongfang again. He learned a lot from Lin Dongfang about the medical skills to treat Shen Yushi's leg. Uncle Guan, is Xiaoxiang here? Asked Yang Ming. Xiaoxiang. When Guan Shuamin mentioned Guan Xiaoxiang, he shook his head with a wry smile and said, you know. Last time, because I didn't support his business, he had a quarrel with me and didn't come back to live. Ah. Yang Ming was stunned. It can't be. What about his pharmaceutical company? He's doing very well. With your support, he's doing very well. Whether it's in terms of funding or connections, your subordinates are taking good care of him. Guan Shuamin smiled bitterly. Now, I'm afraid he listens to you the most, then I will call him and let him come back. Yang Ming decided to talk to Guan Xiaoxiang. There was a reason why Guan Shuamin didn't support him. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to do business well and ruin Guan Shuamin's reputation. In the end, he wouldn't get anything. Shuamin shook his head. That's fine. If you hadn't come back, I wouldn't have been able to see him. This kid, I will talk to him later. As Yang Ming said this, he dialed Guan Xiaoxiang's phone. Although Yang Ming and Guan Xiaoxiang were about the same age, in front of Guan Xiaoxiang, he acted like an older brother. Boss? Guan Xiaoxiang had always saved Yang Ming's phone number, but he also knew that Yang Ming was on a very important mission and couldn't contact the outside world. So when he received a call from Yang Ming, Guan Xiaoxiang was surprised and happy. It's me. Where are you? Asked Yang Ming lightly. I am at the company. Guan Xiaoxiang heard that Yang Ming's tone wasn't very good. He was a little confused and worried. He quickly asked, Boss, what's wrong? You are so powerful now. You are all grown up. Why don't you come back and see Uncle Guan? Now, immediately, bring your girlfriend back here. Yang Ming said. Don't think that you can do some business by yourself. If it weren't for Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan's connections, what could you have done? Uncle Guan did it for your own good. He was afraid that you would fail. Now that you have success, you think you made the right choice. Let me tell you, you have your own ability, but do you believe that I can make you lose everything tomorrow? Guan Xiaoxiang didn't expect Yang Ming to be so angry. He was a little stunned. Boss. I will wait at your house. Yang Ming finished and directly hung up the phone. Yang Ming sighed. He had more experience than Guan Xiaoxiang. He was also more mature. He deeply understood the expectations and worries of parents for their children. So he knew that it wasn't that Guan Xiaoxiang was stingy. He didn't let Guan Xiaoxiang use his name to start a company, but he was afraid that Guan Xiaoxiang would be cheated. But now, with Yang Ming's people helping him pave the way, and the funds were ready, it was impossible for the company not to start. But all of this wasn't due to Guan Xiaoxiang's own efforts. It could be said that without Yang Ming's help, even if he could succeed, he would have to put in 10 times more effort and take many more detours. Guan Shuamin didn't expect Yang Ming to lose his temper over the phone, but he felt refreshed and relieved. His son didn't listen to him when he talked to him. He thought that he was being sarcastic because he was jealous of him. But now that Yang Ming said so, Guan Shuamin would understand that he was doing it for his own good. Oh, Uncle Guan, I let you see a joke. If I wasn't strict, this kid would be easy to get complacent. Yang Ming laughed. When your business is successful and you have money, you like to be arrogant. I've also been through this phase. I understand Guan Xiaoxiang's feelings, but I've adjusted myself. I understand. You scolded him well, Guan Shuamin said. Actually, I wanted to scold him too, but when I did, it was that little brat Guan Xiaoxiang who hung up on me. Now that you're scolding him, it's you who hung up after scolding him, but he doesn't dare to hang up on you. Everything has its vanquisher. Oh, I can't help it. I can only be the bad guy. Yang Ming shrugged and said helplessly. Right, Yushi is resting upstairs. Why don't you go and see her? Guan Shuamin said. Let's wait. There's no rush. We'll wait for Xiaoxiang to come back. Since Yang Ming was already there, he wasn't in a hurry. He had already learned all of Lin Dongfang's medical skills. All that was left was to practice and experience. However, when it came to treating Shen Yuxi's leg, Yang Ming was very confident. Lin Dongfang had helped him concoct a medicinal liquid when he was in the Medicine Valley. It could stimulate and restore the nervous system. With acupuncture, Shen Yuxi's leg could be restored to its original state. As for acupuncture, Yang Ming wasn't afraid. Although Yang Ming's acupuncture skills weren't as proficient as Lin Dongfang's, Yang Ming's ability to recognize acupuncture points wasn't worse than Lin Dongfang's. Not to mention that Yang Ming had X-ray vision, just the ability to recognize acupuncture points was something that Yang Ming had learned very well when he was training with Fang Tian. Chapter 2264. Therefore, Yang Ming was very confident in treating Shen Yuxi. It was basically a piece of cake, so Yang Ming was not in a hurry to go upstairs. Guan Xiaoxiang would probably be back soon, and Yang Ming would have to come down after going upstairs. If Shen Yuxi were to be separated from Yang Ming right after meeting him, she would definitely feel uncomfortable. So, Yang Ming decided not to let her know first. He would go upstairs later and spend more time with Shen Yuxi. Since Yang Ming had already decided to accept Shen Yuxi, he naturally had to treat her better and not disappoint her again. All right. Guan Xuemin nodded and said, "Do you have a good idea about Yuxi's legs?" "Yes, Brother Lin has already taught me all of his medical skills," Yang Ming said. "I'm very confident in treating Shen Yuxi." Brother Lin also said that Yuxi's legs can be treated with a medicinal liquid that stimulates and repairs the nerves. With acupuncture, it's basically a piece of cake. Acupuncture is a broad and profound field of study. Although I know this method, I can't put it into practice. Also, I can't make that kind of medicine. I heard that there are several very rare herbs in it. If you don't plant them, it's very difficult to buy them. Guan Xuemin sighed. That's true. These herbs were planted by us in Miaojiang's Medicine Valley. Yang Ming said, also, there's a kind of herb that must be used when it's fresh. If it's dried, it won't have the same effect. As the two of them were talking, the doorbell rang outside the villa. Aunt Lu went to open the door. It was Guan Xiaoxiang with his girlfriend, Xiao Lan. Guan Xiaoxiang lowered his head and carefully held Xiao Lan's hand as they walked into the villa. When he saw Yang Ming sitting on the sofa, he was a little scared and didn't dare to raise his head. "Boss, huh? Your girlfriend is pregnant?" Yang Ming looked at Xiao Lan in surprise. Xiao Lan's stomach was already very big, and it looked like she was going to give birth soon. He didn't expect that Guan Xiaoxiang would be a father after going out for a while. Yang Ming wondered if it was time for him to work hard. Lu Yezian Yi, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu, all of his friends were about to become parents one after another, but he was the only one who didn't. However, he had to wait until the matter between Central and Dr. Benjamin was over. Otherwise, Yang Ming wouldn't be able to calm down. "Yeah. Boss." Guan Xiaoxiang was worried that he couldn't find a topic to talk about when Yang Ming started talking about Xiao Lan. Guan Xiaoxiang quickly said, "Boss, didn't you want to arrange a betrothal between me and Xiao Lan's child? Our child is a little princess. Did your disciple receive it?" "No, not yet." Only then did Yang Ming remember that he had mentioned this to Guan Xiaoxiang before. If Guan Xiaoxiang hadn't brought it up, Yang Ming would have forgotten about it. Thinking of how Fang Tian had tricked him, Yang Ming also wanted to trick his disciple, so Yang Ming said, "But this matter is settled. I will make an appointment first." "Of course, no problem." Guan Xiaoxiang nodded and said, "Let Xiao Lan sit down and rest first." Yang Ming saw that Xiao Lan was pregnant, so he didn't say much to Guan Xiaoxiang. He just said, "I heard that you haven't been going home recently." "Thank you, boss." Xiao Lan thanked him shyly, then sat on the sofa and said helplessly, "Xiaoxiang is just sulking." In fact, I have advised him, you see, you're not as good as your girlfriend. I should call you wife. You're not as generous as your wife. Yang Ming said, what are you thinking about every day? Uncle Guan didn't let you use his name to do business. It was actually for your own good. He was afraid that you would be cheated. You don't have the funds, and you don't have the skills. Do you think you can make a name for yourself with a name? You are starting a business now. You should have realized it yourself, right? If you didn't have Bao Sanli and the others to help you, how many detours would you have to take? This. Guan Xiaoxiang actually knew that Yang Ming was right. He was indeed a little conflicted, but this knot in his heart was not something that could be resolved so easily. Okay, think about it carefully. Come back and visit your father more often when you are free. If you still consider me as your boss, then do as I say, Yang Ming said. Okay, I know. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. Yang Ming could see that Guan Xiaoxiang still had a knot in his heart, so he didn't force him. He had already said what he wanted to say. The rest was up to him to think about it himself. This was all that Yang Ming could help with. As the saying goes, even an honest official can't solve a family matter. This was a family matter between Guan Xueming and Guan Xiaoxiang. Yang Ming really couldn't do anything about it. Okay, I'm going upstairs. You talk to your father. You are not young anymore. Come back more often and take care of your elders. Yang Ming said. Hee, I got it. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded and said, oh right, boss, can you help me and Xiaolan come up with a name for our daughter? Our little princess doesn't have a name yet. Name? I think we should call it Care. I will remind you to take care of your father at all times. Yang Ming said casually. Care? Guan Xiaoxiang was stunned. Care. Guan Xin. That's a good name. It's settled then. Yang Ming didn't bother with him. He turned around and went upstairs, leaving time and space for Guan Xueming and Guan Xiaoxiang. Auntie Lu took Yang Ming upstairs and came to Shen Yushi's room. Auntie Lu pointed at the door and left tactfully. Yang Ming knocked on the door. Shen Yushi's voice came from inside. Please come in. Shen Yushi was a girl. Even if she was Guan Xueming's patient, he would knock on the door every time he came in. He was worried that it would be inconvenient for Shen Yushi. Yang Ming pushed open the door and walked in. He saw Shen Yushi lying on the bed on her side. She was flipping through a thick book in her hands. The bright sun shone on her face, making her look particularly beautiful. She was a beautiful and clean girl. Even if she was sick in bed, her personal image and hygiene were meticulously taken care of. She looked very beautiful. At that moment, Yang Ming was really moved. Sometimes, it was just that simple to be moved. There was no reason or warning. Looking at Shen Yushi at that moment, Yang Ming had an impulse to own and protect her. Godfather, why are you so early today? Shen Yushi thought that Guan Xueming had come and wanted to help her take measures to prevent the muscle atrophy of her legs. However, when she raised her head, she was stunned. Yang Ming? Hee, it's me, Yushi. Yang Ming smiled and nodded. Ah. Yang Ming, you are back. You really came back safely. That's great. Shen Yushi looked at Yang Ming excitedly. Chapter 2265. Yes, I'm back. I'm back safely. Yang Ming said. And, I'm back to collect interest. Interest? What interest? Shen Yushi was stunned. She didn't know what Yang Ming meant. Did you forget what I said before I left? Yang Ming looked at Shen Yushi and smiled. When I left, I said that I wanted a stamp, but you didn't let me. So, I said that when I come back, I will look for you to collect interest. Ah. Shen Yushi's face suddenly turned red. She remembered the scene when Yang Ming left. At that time, Yang Ming wanted to kiss her. She was a little shy and refused. She didn't expect that time would pass so quickly. In the blink of an eye, Yang Ming was back. Why? Do you want to go back on your words? Yang Ming looked at Shinyushi with a smile and asked mischievously. No. No, I won't go back on my words, Shinyushi said shyly. It's good that you won't go back on your words. I said that when I come back, I will make you my real woman. Yang Ming said. Shinyushi snorted softly. Wasn't this what she had been looking forward to? Now, it was finally here. During the days when Yang Ming was gone, she had been thinking about Yang Ming all the time. Now that she saw Yang Ming, she was a little embarrassed. However, Shinyushi suddenly thought of her legs. Back then, Yang Ming said to her, "Then, you should stay at home and recuperate. It would be best if you could stand up and welcome me when I come back." Shinyushi also said, "Yes, yes, I will." But now, Shinyushi's legs were still the same. There was no improvement at all. Guanshuamin could only maintain Shinyushi's leg muscles and not let them atrophy. However, there was no way for her to recover and stand up. Thinking of this, Shinyushi's expression suddenly became sad. She sighed faintly and said, "Yang Ming, my legs have not recovered yet. Moreover, it may be like this in the future. I won't be able to stand up for the rest of my life. Will you still want me? Will you want a disabled girl? If I go home with you, won't you feel ashamed?" Ugh. Yang Ming didn't expect that Shinyushi, who was very happy just a moment ago, would become a little sentimental. Yang Ming couldn't help but sigh. "Yushi, are you such a weak and unconfident girl? Just now when I entered the door, what I saw was a very bright and beautiful girl, leaning on the bed and reading a book, which made me very moved. Yang Ming, this is not a matter of confidence or lack of confidence. I know that my legs can't recover anymore." Shinyushi shook her head and said, "When you left, I was full of confidence. But now, after so long, there is no improvement. I carefully recall the situation at that time. I'm afraid you already knew about this situation and deliberately advised me. You were afraid that I would commit suicide, right? Don't worry, I have thought it through now. I won't commit suicide. But you don't have to be with me just to accommodate me. If my legs weren't broken, I thought that with my good looks and some effort, I could make you like me. But now, I really can't think of a reason why you still want me. You see, you are not confident again, right?" Yang Ming shook his head and said, "At first, I said that I liked you. I lied to you. But now, I really like you. So, I went to Miaojiang this time and brought back a gift for you, ah?" Shinyushi listened to Yang Ming's affectionate words and couldn't help but be stunned. "Really? You didn't lie to me?" "No, do you think I need to lie to you?" Yang Ming smiled bitterly. "I am like this. If I didn't like you, I would have told you the truth and left you after I cured your legs. Why would I say so much? Cure my legs." Shinyushi was not stupid. Her originally disappointed eyes suddenly lit up. "Yang Ming, you mean, yes." Yang Ming nodded and smiled. "My gift is to let you stand up again." "Ah, really?" Shinyushi looked at Yang Ming in amazement. "Can I really stand up again? I said it before. Do I need to lie to you?" Yang Ming smiled and said, "Well, the time to witness a miracle has come. I will treat you first, and then you will go home with me tonight." Shinyushi listened to Yang Ming's overbearing words. Her face blushed again, but she did not refute. If Yang Ming really found a way to treat her, it was enough to see that Yang Ming really had feelings for her. Moreover, if her legs were healed, she would no longer feel inferior and feel that she was not worthy of Yang Ming. There may be some pain in a while. You have to endure it. If you really can't, just shout out loud. No one will laugh at you." Yang Ming said as he took out the silver needles and the medicine that Lin Dongfang had prepared. He put them on the table next to him. N. Shinyushi nodded. Yang Ming disinfected the silver needles and then dipped them in some medicine that stimulated the nerves. He was ready to help Shinyushi with the acupuncture. Relax your legs. Don't move. I am going to apply the acupuncture. Okay. Shinyushi nodded cooperatively. In fact, her legs at the moment could not be said to be relaxed because there was no feeling in her legs at all. What she needed to relax now was her body and mind. Yang Ming's hand quickly picked up the silver needles and poked back and forth on Shinyushi's body. After a while, most of the silver needles in the box were inserted on Shinyushi's body. Yang Ming had used this method of applying needles on people except for the time when he helped Lin Dongfang to pierce the quick cicada voodoo. In the past, it was all simulations, or he used the flying needles that Zhang Zhishan gave him to directly hurt people. It was the first time he was treating people. However, because Yang Ming had a good foundation in assassin training, his flying needles were also first class. So, Yang Ming was very satisfied with the first acupuncture treatment. This was because all the silver needles were successfully inserted into the acupuncture points on Shinyushi's legs. None of them were inserted wrongly or needed to be redone. This made Yang Ming feel relieved. Okay. Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. After this matter was done, all that was left was to wait. Just bear with it for a while. N. Shinyushi responded. At first, Shinyushi did not feel anything, but gradually, Shinyushi began to feel it. The medicine that stimulated and restored the nerves entered the damaged meridians and nerve tissue on Shinyushi's legs through Shinyushi's acupuncture points. Shinyushi's legs began to throb with pain. Chapter 2266. Moreover, as time went by, the pain in Shinyushi's legs became more and more intense. Ah! Shinyushi finally couldn't help but cry out in pain. She felt that her legs had regained their senses, and the nerves in her legs were getting more and more painful as if they were about to break. Although Yang Ming saw Shinyushi's pain, he couldn't do anything about it. At this time, the treatment was not over yet. If he pulled out the silver needles, the expected effect would not be achieved. So, Yang Ming could only comfort her, "Be strong, Yushi. Think about it. You can stand up today. What is this pain?" N. Shinyushi gritted her teeth and smiled reluctantly. However, that intense pain still made her forehead break out in a thin layer of sweat. Bear with it a little more. It can be considered as training. Maybe there will be more pain tonight. Yang Ming smiled and joked. N. Shinyushi was stunned, but looking at Yang Ming's mischievous smile, she finally understood what Yang Ming meant when he said that there would be more painful things at night. She couldn't help but blush and said, "You're so annoying. I'm still thinking about those messy things at this time. You have promised to be my woman. Why can't you think about it?" Yang Ming also deliberately distracted Shinyushi's attention. "Could it be that you want to go back on your words?" I am not going back on my words." Shinyushi naturally would not go back on her words. Although she was a little shy, she was still willing in her heart. "Isn't this what I have been looking forward to? Yang Ming really accepted me. I can be with Yang Ming forever in the future. It's good that you are not going back on your words. Even if you do, it won't work." Yang Ming said, "You have accepted my gift. Now that your legs are healed, you don't want me anymore. That won't work." "No, I am not so ungrateful," said Shinyushi. "Hee, whether you are ungrateful or not, you will be able to prove it in a while," said Yang Ming. N. Shinyushi and Yang Ming bickered for a while. She was surprised to find that the pain in her legs was gradually decreasing and even disappearing. She was surprised and said, "My legs. It seems that I don't feel anything again." "Oh." Yang Ming was slightly stunned. "It can't be. Is there no effect? Why don't you feel anything? It's not as painful as before." Shinyushi was also shocked and said quickly, "Really? Extend your leg to let me see, said Yang Ming. Shin Yushi subconsciously extended her leg to Yang Ming. However, after she extended her leg to Yang Ming, she suddenly realized that she could actually control her leg. In other words, she could feel her leg. Hee, yeah, your leg is healed. Naturally, the pain will be less. When the pain is gone in a while, I can pull out the silver needles. Yang Ming laughed. She was just testing Shin Yushi. She didn't expect it to be effective. Shin Yushi was very excited. Yang Ming didn't lie to her. This was the best gift she had ever received. It was 1,000 times better than anything else. Yang Ming saw that it was almost time. He reached out and put away all the silver needles on Shin Yushi's body. Then, he said, "Okay, Yushi. Your legs should be fully recovered." Really? Shin Yushi was surprised and happy. She pinched her legs with her hand and found that she could feel them. Then, Shin Yushi couldn't wait to get out of bed and try it out. Shin Yushi got out of bed as she thought about it. Then, she lifted her legs and wanted to walk on the ground. However, because she had been lying in bed for too long and had not exercised for a long time, Shin Yushi lost her balance and fell forward as soon as she got out of bed. Yang Ming subconsciously reached out and held Shin Yushi in his arms. Ah! Shin Yushi also subconsciously exclaimed and threw herself into a warm embrace. This feeling made Shin Yushi feel a little shy and sweet at the same time. However, this was the feeling she had been looking forward to for a long time. Yang Ming didn't hold back. He took the opportunity to hug Shin Yushi and held her in his arms. He smirked and said, "Yushi, this is considered as you taking the initiative to throw yourself into my arms." "Not at all. I just can't move my legs," Shin Yushi said with a red face. "Hee, is that so? Then why don't you break free now?" Yang Ming teased. You continue." Shin Yushi's face was even redder. "Okay, I won't say any more." Yang Ming said, "Let's do this. I will support you from behind. We will try to do some restorative training. The muscles on your legs haven't atrophied. Uncle Guan has been doing maintenance measures for you for a while, so your legs aren't flexible. This is because you haven't exercised for a long time. You will get used to it in a while. You have an advantage over other patients." "Really? That's great. I thought that I would have to do leg restorative training for a long time." Shin Yushi said happily. "No need. It will be fine in a while." Yang Ming said and hugged Shin Yushi from behind. He wrapped his arms around her waist and said, "Now, I will carry you. You try to walk forward. Don't worry. With me here, you won't fall." Shin Yushi nodded and tried to take a step forward. Yang Ming's balance was better than other people's. At this time, it was relatively easy for him to help Shin Yushi with restorative training. Shin Yushi took 2 steps forward. In the beginning, her steps were not very stable. She felt like she was on the verge of falling. However, after walking for a while, her legs became more flexible. She was able to walk forward smoothly. Yang Ming's strength in his arms had completely controlled Shin Yushi's center of gravity in the beginning. Now, he had given part of his center of gravity to Shin Yushi and let her control it herself. Gradually, the strength in Yang Ming's hands became weaker and weaker, and Shin Yushi's steps became more flexible. However, the 2 people walked from the side of the bed to the edge of the wall of the house. Shin Yushi wanted to turn a corner, but she lost her center of gravity again and fell forward directly. This was bad. Shin Yushi's body lowered, and the big white rabbit in front of her chest suddenly pressed on Yang Ming's arm. This sudden change shocked Shin Yushi and also stunned Yang Ming. "So big, so soft." These 4 words popped up in Yang Ming's mind. Shin Yushi rested in bed all year round, so it was impossible for her to wear a bra. After her legs recovered, it was impossible for her to wear a bra in front of Yang Ming. Therefore, it led to the current situation where Yang Ming took advantage of it. Chapter 2267. You still won't let go of me? Shin Yushi said shyly when she saw that Yang Ming was enjoying it very much. I can't let go. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Why not? Shin Yushi was stunned. If I let go, won't you fall to the ground? Yang Ming explained helplessly. Ah. Shin Yushi thought about it. It was indeed the case. If Yang Ming let go, wouldn't she fall? Thinking of this, Shin Yushi could only blush. She held onto the wall with her hand, and then slowly stood firm again. However, during this process, Yang Ming took advantage of her. However, Shin Yushi was also a little open-minded. Anyway, she was going to become Yang Ming's woman. It was not a big deal to be taken advantage of by him. Moreover, she was not used to this feeling at first. It was quite good and exciting after she got used to it. So, in the next half an hour, Yang Ming and Shin Yushi began their recovery walking training in an ambiguous atmosphere. Both of them seemed to enjoy this warm feeling. Shin Yushi gradually let go. When she was tired from walking, she dared to take the initiative to lean on Yang Ming. After an hour, Shin Yushi could basically leave Yang Ming's arms and walk on her own. Although it was still a little unstable, at least she could walk on her own. This situation surprised and delighted Yang Ming and Shin Yushi. Congratulations, Yushi, said Yang Ming. And Shin Yushi also nodded happily. Yang Ming, thank you. Today is the happiest day in my life. All my dreams and wishes have come true. God is really good to me. You change your clothes. Let's go downstairs together. We will have a meal here, and then go back with me tonight, said Yang Ming. Shin Yushi nodded, but she did not move. What's wrong? Asked Yang Ming, puzzled. I'm changing my clothes. Why are you still looking at me here? Shin Yushi said with some embarrassment. Ugh. Yushi, you are changing now. Are you still guarding against me? Yang Ming spread his hands and said, besides, it's not like I haven't seen it before. Then I'm embarrassed too. Shin Yushi blushed. She was at a loss. Since we're going to see it sooner or later, why don't we practice it now? Yang Ming said. All right. Shin Yushi hesitated for a moment, but she still nodded and agreed. Yang Ming was overjoyed. He did not expect Shin Yushi to agree. In fact, if Yang Ming wanted to look at Shin Yushi, he didn't need to spend so much effort. Yang Ming had the ability to see through things. He could look at Shin Yushi whenever he wanted to. However, that would not be as exciting as Shin Yushi's willingness. For a moment, the room was filled with endless spring scenery. Shin Yushi changed into her most beautiful new outfit in front of Yang Ming. She had bought it online during this period of time. She also dreamed that one day she could stand up and wear it for Yang Ming to see. She did not expect to wear it in front of him, however, since Shin Yushi had thought it through, it was fine. Yushi, you are so beautiful. Yang Ming could not help but say. Is that so? Shin Yushi lowered her head shyly. Yang Ming held Shin Yushi's hand and went downstairs with her. Looking at Shin Yushi who could walk on her own, Guan Shuamin was stunned. Guan Xiaoxiang was also very surprised. That was because this had overturned their understanding of medicine. They did not expect that a person whose leg nerves had been injured could recover so quickly. This situation was simply a medical miracle. However, when he thought about how Yang Ming's medical skills came from that mysterious person, Guan Shuamin was relieved. Yushi, Yang Ming, congratulations. Guan Shuamin smiled and said from the bottom of his heart. Thank you. Yang Ming smiled and said, Uncle Guan, we have troubled you during this period of time. Yang Ming, you are treating me like an outsider. Not to mention my relationship with Lu Weishan, You have helped Xiaoxiang so much. It is enough to take care of him. Guan Shuamin waved his hand and said, I am just doing my duty. Your care for Xiaoxiang is the real deal, Guan Xiaoxiang, did you hear that? Uncle Guan still cares about you. Yang Ming said, that is why I gave your daughter the name Care. It is also to remind you to always care about your family. Actually, your career is not your contribution. I understand. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. Boss, actually, I just have some knot in my heart. I don't really hate my father, that's good. Yang Ming knew that Guan Xiaoxiang needed to think things through slowly, so he did not try to persuade him anymore. Instead, he turned to Guan Shuamin and said, Uncle Guan, today, I will be taking Yushi away. Yushi and I are also here to say goodbye to you. I know. Since your leg is healed, you naturally have to go back. Guan Shuamin was not too surprised. But, why don't you leave after lunch? I have already asked Auntie Lu to prepare lunch. That is for sure. Even if you didn't ask, I would have stayed here for lunch. Yang Ming said. At noon, Yang Ming had a sumptuous lunch at Guan Shuamin's house. In the afternoon, he told Guan Xiaoxiang about some things and then left with Shin Yushi. Yang Ming didn't want to leave in such a hurry, but Yang Ming really had a lot of things to do. He couldn't delay time. Sure enough, the KFC takeout ordered by Little Wang had been finished in the car. Yang Ming and Shin Yushi got in the car. Little Wang left 2 drumsticks and 2 cups of Coke and handed them to Yang Ming and Shin Yushi. He said, Brother Yang, you and sister-in-law must be hungry on the road. Eat it. Okay. Yang Ming was not polite and took it. Brother Yang, where are we going now? Back to Songjiang City? Asked Little Wang. And, let's go back now. Yang Ming nodded. Little Wang nodded, started the car, and went straight back to Songjiang City. These 2 days were the 2 most leisurely days for Yang Ming. He met with Zhang Bin, Tian Donghua, Bao Sanli, and Ho Zhenhan. He also accompanied his wives to play at home for a few days. Then, he received a call from Dong Jun. Yang Ming, it's me, Dong Jun. Dong Jun's tone was a little rushed and a little low. Dong Jun, where are you? Why didn't you contact me when I came back these few days? Yang Ming knew that Dong Jun would call sooner or later, but he didn't expect Dong Jun's call to be so late. Let's not talk about this first. Yang Ming, I am exposed. Chapter 2268. As Dong Jun said this, he hesitated for a moment, then sighed, I'm hiding in a very safe place now, but Dr. Benjamin already knows that I betrayed him. Ah? Dr. Benjamin knows that you betrayed him? How is that possible? Yang Ming was stunned. I don't know. Dong Jun smiled bitterly and said, I don't know if it's the people around Elder Yu who made a mistake, or if it's my own problem. It's possible that there are also Dr. Benjamin's informants around Elder Yu. You know, Central is very powerful, and they have a lot of informants. You mean that Elder Yu knows that you helped me? Asked Yang Ming. It should be. It's possible that Dr. Benjamin's people are among Elder Yu's subordinates. It's also possible that they are from Blue Miao Village. It's hard to say. Dong Jun said, after all, it's not a secret that I helped you in Blue Miao Village and Right Miao Village. I'm sorry to drag you into this. Yang Ming didn't expect Dong Jun to be exposed because of this. Before this, Yang Ming didn't think too much because in his opinion, no matter how powerful Dr. Benjamin was, it was impossible for him to reach out to Elder Yu. But now, it seemed that he still underestimated him. Dr. Benjamin's people could enter the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and be placed in Blue Miao Village and Right Miao Village. What was impossible? Of course, this is just a guess. Dong Jun shook his head and said, it's not your fault. This is my own choice. Sooner or later, I will break up with him. It's just a matter of time. Moreover, it might not be just Blue Miao Village and Right Miao Village that made the mistake. As far as I know, in Songjiang City, Elder Yu doesn't only have me as his subordinate. He still has subordinates here, and his subordinates are targeting you. It's not too difficult to find out about me. Dr. Benjamin is really sinister. His informants are everywhere. Targeting me? Yang Ming was slightly stunned. Well, according to reliable sources, Dr. Benjamin is ready to start investigating you. He seems to think that you have superpowers, that is, psychic powers. He thinks that you should have some connection with Dr. Sun Sikong, so he decided to deal with you. He started with you to find some clues. Dong Jun said, if I'm not wrong, the day when Dr. Benjamin starts with you should not be far away, Dr. Benjamin. I haven't decided to deal with him yet, but he's already plotting against me. Yang Ming was furious. Does this Dr. Benjamin think he's awesome? Yang Ming only wanted to negotiate with him to let Dong Jun and Alice go, but he didn't expect Dr. Benjamin to target him. How could he let him live? As the saying goes, don't be afraid of a thief stealing, but be afraid of a thief remembering. Yang Ming had decided to live in seclusion in Island X. If he was remembered by Dr. Benjamin all day long and occasionally came to Island X to find trouble, then could Yang Ming still live in peace? Therefore, Yang Ming's only way was to kill this unstable factor. Since you want to deal with me, then fine, I will deal with you first. Of course, Yang Ming didn't think that Dong Jun would lie to him, because Yang Ming didn't doubt what Dong Jun said at all. Dr. Benjamin had indeed been looking for Dr. Sun Sikong and Suya. He wanted to find people related to Dr. Sun Sikong. Now that he suspected that Yang Ming had a connection with Dr. Sun Sikong, it was not too strange and outrageous to want to deal with Yang Ming and lure Dr. Sun Sikong out. Yang Ming, in fact, you don't have to worry. As long as you go to him and show your strength, then he won't dare to do anything to you. Dong Jun said, you are now more powerful than Elder Yu. Dr. Benjamin also had the idea of capturing Elder Yu for research, but he didn't dare in the end because he was afraid that he would go for wool and come home shorn. So, I think that if Dr. Benjamin knows your strength, then he will never deal with you again. Oh. Yang Ming smiled faintly and said, originally, I did plan to do so, but now, I have changed my mind. I decided not to reveal my trump card first. Since Dr. Benjamin wants to deal with me, then I will play with him. Didn't he want to deal with me? Then I will let him know the consequences of dealing with me. Oh. Dong Jun was stunned. He didn't expect Yang Ming to say such firm words. Dong Jun, in fact, I am not trying to be brave and aggressive, but because Dr. Benjamin's thoughts threaten me. If I don't get rid of him, then he will definitely remember me. Even if he is not my opponent now, after some time, if he has the strength to deal with me, he will still come to deal with me. Yang Ming analyzed, and this is not the end of it. The most important thing is that I am fine, but what about the women around me? I can't be by their side to protect them all the time. There are also my family and my friends. If Dr. Benjamin can't deal with me, then what if he catches my family to threaten me? So, in the final analysis, killing him is my only choice. Okay. Then let's do it. Dong Jun didn't expect Yang Ming to make such a decision. However, this was also a good thing for Dong Jun. It could eliminate all future troubles. As long as there was no threat from Dr. Benjamin Central, Dong Jun would no longer worry about anything. He and Alice would be free. Where are you? Should I go to you? Asked Yang Ming. Wait until we meet, then we will discuss the specifics. I am currently in Las Vegas. Said Dong Jun. Oh? How did you go to Las Vegas? Yang Ming was stunned. He didn't expect Dong Jun to go there. The last time Yang Ming went to perform a mission, he also went to Las Vegas. He was familiar with the situation there. Currently, the Southtown Casino and the Douglas Vast Hotel in Las Vegas were Yang Ming's properties. According to my secret investigation, Central's headquarters where Dr. Benjamin is located is near Las Vegas. From the beach of Las Vegas, there is an island in the high seas far away. That is Central's headquarters. Dong Jun said, but I haven't found out the specific location of the island, but I have determined that Dr. Benjamin's men came ashore from the beach of Las Vegas. That's good. You wait for me in Las Vegas. When I get to Las Vegas, I will contact you. Is this still the same phone number? Asked Yang Ming. No, I am going to change my number. Although my phone number is still safe for now, it is estimated that Dr. Benjamin will monitor it soon. I will change my number to contact you, said Dong Jun. Chapter 2269. That's good. I'll wait for your call. Yang Ming nodded and said, I'll prepare for it in a few days. Okay, I'll contact you again. After Dong Jun finished, he hung up the phone. Yang Ming took a deep breath. It seems that I have to end this period of only envying the couple and not the immortals. Finally, I have to face a new battle with high morale. Dong Jun's words also changed Yang Ming's previous thoughts. Perhaps this would be a fierce battle, but Yang Ming had no choice. He had to do this. This was his responsibility. For himself, for his family, for his friends, for his lover. In any case, he must fight against Central and Dr. Benjamin. Moreover, in this battle, only victory was allowed. Failure was not allowed. Yang Dehai and Mother Yang had settled in Wang Xiaoyan's villa next to Yang Ming's villa in the past few days. In the evening, when Mother Yang and Yang Ming came to eat, Yang Ming also announced his decision to the whole family. Dad, Mom, wives, I have to go again. Yang Ming said, although he was somewhat helpless. So soon. Although Mother Yang had long known that Yang Ming was going to leave, she was still somewhat reluctant. This child, he just came back for a few days, and he has to leave again. AI. Big Ming is going to do something serious, not to play. We should support him, right, Meng Yan? Yang Dehai was very open-minded, especially when he knew that no one could hurt Yang Ming now. Naturally, it was impossible to stop Yang Ming. Yeah, Mom, Dad is right. Yang Ming is going to do something serious. This matter is solved. We can go to X Island without any trouble. Then, we don't have to worry about anything in the future. Chen Mengyan nodded in agreement. Well, since you all said so, then it is. But Big Ming, you must be careful, said Mother Yang. Don't worry, Mom. I will be careful. Yang Ming nodded and smiled. Right, before you leave, you have to visit Brother Lu Weishan. When are you going to leave? Asked Yang Dehai. Tomorrow morning, said Yang Ming. Then, you should visit tonight. Yang Dehai said, you have to go no matter what. Alright, then I will go in a while, said Yang Ming. The whole family was together. After a happy dinner, Yang Ming drove to the family area of Songjiang Industry University. Xiao Qing also went with Yang Ming. As for the others, Yang Ming did not bring them. After all, it was not good to bring a big family. However, what Yang Ming didn't expect was that Lu Weishan actually had guests in his house. Sitting in the living room was a man who was about the same age as Lu Weishan, but slightly younger than Lu Weishan. He was about 40 or 50 years old. After Yang Ming saw them, he said, Godfather, Godmother, there are guests at home. Qing Qing and I will go over there to visit second brother Lu Tianqi and second sister-in-law first. Don't bother. He is not an outsider. Lu Weishan waved his hand. This is your Aunt Chu's younger brother. You can call him Uncle Chu. Ah, it turns out to be a family member, Uncle Chu. Yang Ming quickly greeted. However, Xiao Qing apparently knew Aunt Chu's younger brother. She nodded politely to the man and smiled. Hello, Uncle. Yang Ming didn't expect Xiao Qing to know him. He made a mistake and smiled bitterly. But thinking about it, when he entered the house, he thought that there was a guest in his godfather's house. He didn't wait for Xiao Qing to speak, but he spoke first. He couldn't blame Xiao Qing. Qing Qing is back. The man obviously knew Xiao Qing, but he looked at Yang Ming and asked, Sister, this is, Sanhua, this is Yang Ming, the godson of your brother-in-law and me. He is also Qing Qing's boyfriend. Chu Huifang introduced him to her younger brother. You can call him Big Ming. Hello, Big Ming. I have heard a lot about you, hee hee. The man called Sanhua smiled politely at Yang Ming. However, Yang Ming could see that although this man was very gentlemanly, there was a trace of melancholy and helplessness between his eyebrows. Moreover, this person, as the younger brother of Chu Huifang and Aunt Chu, actually said, I have heard a lot about you, to Yang Ming. This made Yang Ming feel a little strange. After all, Aunt Chu's younger brother was Yang Ming's elder. How did it become, I have heard a lot about you? Seeing Yang Ming's doubts, Aunt Chu explained to Yang Ming, Big Ming, even if you didn't come today, I would take the initiative to trouble you tomorrow. My younger brother, Sanhua, really encountered some trouble. I want you to help me plead for mercy. You want me to help you plead for mercy? Yang Ming was even more confused, but since Aunt Chu spoke, Yang Ming still said, Aunt Chu, what is going on? What do you need me to help with? This. Chu Huifang's younger brother was a little embarrassed. After all, he was the one who asked for help. He was not familiar with Yang Ming, so he could only look at Aunt Chu for help. Let me say it. Aunt Chu felt sorry for her younger brother, but she felt even more sorry for her nephew, so she helped him speak. Sanhua and I are together. We both came from the countryside. I was admitted to university, and later stayed in school to be a lecturer at Songjiang Industry University. Sanhua started from scratch in the nearby Songshan city. After a few twists and turns, he also built a large-scale group. He is considered a very famous person in Songshan city. The relationship between us is also very good. Yang Ming nodded and did not interrupt Aunt Chu. Yang Ming knew that Aunt Chu's introduction was actually to tell Yang Ming that her relationship with her younger brother was very good. If Yang Ming could help, he would try his best to help. Aunt Chu, he is your younger brother, just like my uncle. If there is anything, just say it. If I can do it, I will definitely help. Yang Ming said. Okay, then Sanhua, just tell the truth. Aunt Chu said to Chu Sanhua. Okay, big sister. Chu Sanhua nodded and said to Yang Ming, the matter is like this. My son met a girl 2 years ago. The two fell in love at first sight, and soon fell in love. Although I wanted my son to find a suitable match for the daughter of a company's president, I was more open-minded. Seeing that my son liked her, I agreed. However, what I did not expect was that the girl's identity was not as low as I thought. Her background was unbelievably strong. After the girl gave her body to my son, she also told my son the truth. She came from a martial arts sect called the Ancient Sect, the Dark Knight Palace. Chapter 2270. Ancient Sect. When Yang Ming heard this name, he frowned. This was not the first time he had heard this name. Yang Ming already knew a lot about the people and things at the ancient level. When he came back this time, he had met 2 people from the ancient Feng family on the plane. Therefore, when Yang Ming heard the words ancient sect, he was a little puzzled. He did not expect that the people around him would come into contact with this level. Although it sounds like a fantasy story to us ordinary people, in fact, there really are martial arts sects. Chu Sanhua saw Yang Ming frown and thought that Yang Ming did not believe in the existence of ancient sects and martial arts sects, so he quickly explained, moreover, this martial arts sect is really very powerful. It is said that those people, as long as they use a move, are unbelievably powerful. Breaking a boulder with one palm sounds impossible, right? But they can do it easily. I know about ancient sections. Uncle Chu, you don't have to explain. Just continue. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and said. Ah. You know. That's great. Then I'll continue. When Chu Sanhua heard that Yang Ming knew about the ancient level, he was surprised and happy. He quickly continued, that girl ran away from the marriage. I heard that their sect wanted to marry her to another ancient sect. She didn't want to, so she ran away from the marriage. Sigh, if I had known that her background was so powerful, I wouldn't have let anything happen between my son and her. But now, it's too late. Uncle Chu, your son and daughter-in-law were taken away by the people from the ancient sect? Yang Ming frowned and asked. That's not true. After the girls said these things, I realized that something was wrong. I gave them a new identity and sent them abroad to study. Chu Sanhua said, but... Yesterday, the girl called and said that it seemed that her sect found them and found the place where they were studying. At this juncture, the girl was pregnant. Aren't they studying abroad? Can they still be pregnant? Yang Ming was stunned. This kind of thing is very common overseas, right? There are many overseas university students who get married and have children. There's nothing strange about that. Chu Sanhua said, at this time, if that girl is taken away, then the child in her stomach will definitely be lost. Yang Ming nodded and sighed. Uncle Chu, you mean, I heard from my sister and brother-in-law that you're a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You should be in contact with these ancient sects, right? I was thinking. Could you be the middleman and talk to that girl's ancient sect, the Dark Knight Palace, to let her go? If it really doesn't work, we can take her away after the child is born. I don't want to lose this child. Chu Sanhua said. Ancient sects. Yang Ming shook his head with a wry smile. It's definitely impossible to negotiate with them as a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. There are people from ancient aristocratic families in our Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I know a lot about ancient matters. They are all very strong and have very high standards. For them, there's no such thing as begging for mercy. Only the fist is the absolute truth. This. Chu Sanhua's face darkened. In fact, how could he not have guessed this result? He was just trying to find Yang Ming, but when Yang Ming told him the situation, he shook his head helplessly. It seems. It's impossible, it's not impossible. Yang Ming smiled and said lightly, I just said that for this group of people with high standards, there's no need to beg them. Just remember that the fist is the absolute truth. As long as your fist is hard, they have to be willing even if they don't want to. Ah. Big Ming, you mean? Chu Sanhua looked at Yang Ming in disbelief. He didn't expect Yang Ming to say such domineering words. On the return flight, I met two people from the ancient Feng family. They pretended to be badass and made me get off the plane. Yang Ming said lightly, it's really impossible to reason with them. Uncle Chu, but I have other things to do tomorrow. You tell me where they are studying, or it's best to let them go to Las Vegas to seek refuge with me. I can protect them well by my side. Ah, you are leaving tomorrow. What? Las Vegas? Chu Sanhua heard the first half of Yang Ming's words and was a little nervous, but when he heard the second half of his words, he was surprised and happy. Big Ming, you are going to Las Vegas too? What's wrong? Asked Yang Ming. The place where my son is studying is a university near Las Vegas. Chu Sanhua said happily, it's only an hour's drive to Las Vegas. Okay, give me their names and contact details. I will help them deal with this. Yang Ming didn't say much and said straightforwardly. It wasn't that Yang Ming was being a busybody and arrogant, but this was Aunt Chu's problem, so it was Yang Ming's problem. Yang Ming couldn't just ignore it. Besides, Yang Ming wasn't afraid of ancient sections. So what if they were ancient sects? With him around, who could hurt the people around him? My son is called Chu Pengzhan, and that girl is called Yuan, Chu Sanhua said, but their current identities are not these two names. They are now called Chenzai and Tao Linfang. Chenzai, Tao Linfang. Yang Ming frowned. These two names gave him a familiar feeling. Suddenly, Yang Ming thought of something. Chenzai, Tao Linfang, I have seen them before. Big Ming, you said you have seen them before? Chu Sanhua was stunned. Even Lu Weishan and Aunt Shu were stunned. They didn't know how Yang Ming had seen them before. Last year, they offended a local tyrant called Lang Gu in Las Vegas, right? Asked Yang Ming. You know about this. Could it be? You are the person who helped them? Chu Sanhua thought of something and looked at Yang Ming in shock. Yang Ming nodded with a smile, that's right. It was just a small matter. I helped them because they were from the same hometown, but I didn't expect it to be the right thing to do. So that's how it is. Peng Zhan told me that he met a benefactor there. Otherwise, he wouldn't know how to solve the problem. He is in Songshan and is the successor of Peng Zhan Industries. He has some ability, but when he went there, he couldn't do anything. Just as he didn't know what to do, he met you. Chu Sanhua sighed. Chapter 2271. Give me their contact information. I'll contact them when I'm there. Yang Ming said with a smile. However, he had some doubts in his heart. Since Yuan came from an ancient sect, she should have some strength, right? However, she was bullied by Lang Gu Jr. and had no strength to fight back. Okay. Chu Sanhua quickly gave Chu Pengzhan's contact information to Yang Ming. I won't say many words of thanks. In short, there are thousands of words that I can't thank you enough. Uncle Chu, you're too polite, Yang Ming said with a smile. It's a family matter. It's my duty to do it. Chu Huifang was very happy after listening to Yang Ming's words. Originally, she thought that Yang Ming would be very difficult and caused a lot of trouble for Yang Ming. However, she didn't expect that Yang Ming would agree so easily. This made her surprised and happy. Big Ming, thank you. Otherwise, our family would still be worried about this. Chu Huifang said. It's nothing. Yang Ming waved his hand and said, right, I came here tonight to say goodbye to you and Godfather. I'm going to Las Vegas tomorrow to help a friend. However, it seems that I can help Uncle along the way. I didn't expect that it's such a coincidence. We're all going to the same destination. It's called fate. Lu Weishan said with a smile, however, you just came back and you're leaving in a hurry. There's no other way. Yang Ming smiled bitterly, with great power comes great responsibility. This sentence is not wrong at all. I really can't refuse these things. This has become something that I have to do. That's right. This time, Tianqi also told me a lot about you going to Miaojiang. You're right. This is your responsibility. Lu Weishan said. Yang Ming and Xiao Qing talked for a while in Lu Weishan's house and then left. After all, it was very late. Lu Weishan and Aunt Shu also needed to rest. After returning home, Yang Ming spent the last night with the girls, so he cherished it very much. The next morning, Ang Ming said goodbye to his family and rushed to Donghai in Little Wang's car. This was also the second time that Little Wang sent Yang Ming to Las Vegas. The scene last time was still vaguely in his mind. It made Yang Ming a little emotional. Last time, because he was in a hurry, Little Wang's car was stopped because Xia Shui sent him to the airport. At that time, he and Xia Shui were a bit of a quarrelsome couple. They quarreled as soon as they met. But now, Xia Shui had become his wife. Thinking about it, it felt like a dream. Yang Ji, last times. Xia also became your girlfriend? When Little Wang picked up Yang Ming at the villa, he saw Yang Ming's wives coming out to send him off, including Xia Shui. It was all thanks to her last time, said Little Wang. Yeah, or else I almost missed the plane. Yang Ming said, but now I see that you are much calmer than before. At that time, I didn't want you to miss the plane, so I didn't think so much. But now, maybe I have driven for a long time, so I have some feelings. Little Wang said with some embarrassment, now that I think about it, it is better to drive according to the law. Otherwise, it is also dangerous for the sake of speed. Nothing is more important than life. Driving safely is also responsible for yourself and the people in the car. Yes, you are right. If the plane is late, it can be changed, but you only have one life. Yang Ming returned from Miaojiang this time with some emotions. He didn't expect little Wang to understand these principles. This made Yang Ming very gratified. Little Wang's mentality was already a qualified driver. No matter how urgent the matter was, it was not as important as life safety. However, this time, the highway was smooth all the way, and there were no obstacles. The two people soon arrived at Donghai International Airport. Yang Ming got out of the car and signaled that little Wang could go back. He would do the next thing himself. From the international departure entrance, they entered the waiting hall. Yang Ming familiarly applied for the boarding pass and went to rest near the boarding gate. At 10:30 in the morning, Yang Ming successfully boarded the flight to Las Vegas. The plane stopped in Yanjing City, and there were no twists and turns. Yang Ming got off the plane, and it was Las Vegas. Coming out of the Las Vegas International Airport, Yang Ming got into a taxi waiting at the entrance of the airport. He said with familiarity, "Go to the Douglas Vast Hotel." This was the second time that Yang Ming came to Las Vegas. The hotel he stayed in was the hotel that Yang Ming stayed in last time, but this hotel had become Yang Ming's property. The domestic Douglas Vast Hotel was renamed by Yang Ming to the Ming Yang International Hotel, but this one in Las Vegas was also a compensation to Yang Ming by the Douglas family. Yang Ming did not change the name. This place was relatively far from Yang Ming. There was no way for Bao Sanli and Jing Xiaolu to manage it, so the management personnel here were still members of the Douglas family. However, the property rights here had fallen into the name of Huang Lele. The hotel's income was also remitted to Huang Lele's bank card. In fact, this was not good for the Douglas family at all. It was equivalent to working for Yang Ming for free. They still had to pay the manager's salary here. However, this was something that the Douglas family was more than happy to do. If the hotel here was managed well, it was equivalent to currying favor with Yang Ming. Therefore, it was impossible for non-core members of the Douglas family to be sent here to manage the hotel. The manager of this hotel was still Batterton, but Batterton's current status was no longer what it used to be. Originally, Batterton was just a small fry in the Douglas family. But now, because of his good relationship with Yang Ming, he had become one of the few elders in the Douglas family with a different surname. Not only did he have the dividends of the Douglas family's other properties, but his voice in the Douglas family was also very high. However, all of this was because of Yang Ming. Batterton also knew, but Yang Ming had not contacted him for a long time recently. He also did not ask about the hotel. There were already some dissenting voices within the family. The reason was very simple. They felt that Batterton was originally a small fry. His current status was entirely because of Yang Ming. Now that Yang Ming did not contact him, he could not be the link between the Douglas family and Yang Ming. Then, there was no need for him to be an elder anymore. The shares of the family's properties should also be taken back. It was already good enough for him to have such a year of glory. Chapter 2272. The Douglas family's intention was to let Batterton take the money and retire in his old age. However, the family master of the Douglas family did not do so because he did not know when Yang Ming would think of Batterton again. If Yang Ming were to ask about it and Batterton was not around, or if Batterton said a few bad words about the Douglas family, then what awaited the Douglas family would be a calamity. Sure enough, the family master of the Douglas family was very prescient because Yang Ming really came to the Douglas Hotel again. Soon, the taxi arrived at the parking lot in front of the Douglas Hotel. Yang Ming paid the fare, got out of the taxi, and walked into the lobby of the Douglas Hotel. "Hello, sir." After Yang Ming walked into the hotel, the hostess greeted him politely. "Sir, are you looking for accommodation?" Yes, accommodation, Yang Ming nodded with a smile and said, however, I want to find someone before I stay. It's not a problem to find someone, but I'm afraid it's not possible to find accommodation. I'm sorry, sir. All the rooms here are full. There are no spare rooms, said the hostess apologetically. She saw that Yang Ming came in the ancestral car, and he looked unfamiliar, so she guessed that Yang Ming was not a previous guest of the hotel, but a newcomer. So, she asked to confirm it first. After hearing Yang Ming's affirmative answer, the hostess quickly explained. Because the annual International Jewelry Festival was about to start in a few days, the hotel was still designated as the designated hotel for the International Jewelry Festival, so it was already full and could no longer be open to the public. Oh. I can't stay again. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. How similar is this scene from a year ago? Yes, I'm sorry, sir. Our hotel is a designated hotel for the International Jewelry Festival, so it is already full of guests. There are no spare rooms, explained the hostess to Yang Ming apologetically. What? International Jewelry Festival? Yang Ming was slightly stunned. He didn't expect that the last time he came in time for the International Jewelry Festival. And this time, he came in time for the International Jewelry Festival again. Yes, sir. The receptionist nodded. Then I'll look for him first. Batterton, is he still here? Asked Yang Ming. The receptionist was stunned. She didn't expect that the person Yang Ming was looking for was their general manager. Batterton, sir, do you know our boss? Yes, we're old acquaintances. Yang Ming nodded. Yes, sir. How should I address you? The receptionist asked. Just tell him that my surname is Yang, Yang Ming said. Okay, sir. Please wait a moment. I'll call our boss right away. The receptionist said. Yang Ming nodded, indicating that she could make the call. Yang Ming sat on the sofa in the hotel lobby for the time being. Batterton's life during this period could be said to be very comfortable. The Douglas family was not very well known in Las Vegas in the past. This was also the reason why Langus Sr. of the Street Racer gang did not give him face previously. However, since Yang Ming dealt with Langus Sr. last year, all the major forces here knew that the Douglas Vast Hotel and the South City Casino had become the property of that ruthless person. Langus Sr. was also very protective of these two properties, so those who coveted these two places did not dare to act rashly. Moreover, although Batterton was still the manager of this hotel in name, his identity was already a member of the Douglas family's Council of Elders. He also had the family's property dividends. However, all this was so good until a few days ago. Batterton's mood was not so good these days. This was because the family had sent news that they wanted him to retire. Of course, retirement was just an excuse. The family's real purpose was to deprive him of his status as a member of the Council of Elders. Naturally, he would no longer enjoy the family's property dividends. All of a sudden, it was as if Batterton had fallen from heaven to hell. He had lost all his glory and wealth. However, Batterton had no other way. He knew that the reason why Family Master Kaik gave him these was because he helped Yang Ming manage the property. However, Yang Ming had not asked about his affairs for so long. Even if Family Master Kaik and his backer, the third elder, supported him, the other members of the family's Council of Elders would have other ideas. After all, Batterton's dividends were equivalent to squeezing out their income. If Batterton retired, then Batterton's income would also return to the hands of the members of the Council of Elders. Looking at the beautiful and sexy female secretary, Batterton was not interested at all. He waved his hand and let the female secretary go out. He sighed and sat on the sofa helplessly with his head raised. Before this, he was just a manager here. He did not have the status of a member of the Council of Elders, nor did he receive any dividends. But now, he was a little unwilling to lose what he had. Although the dividends he earned during this period were enough for him to live the rest of his life with dignity, he always felt unwilling. Batterton sighed. The phone on the table rang. Batterton didn't want to answer at first, but the female secretary was kicked out by him. He could only pick up the phone himself. "Hello, I'm Batterton." "Mr. Batterton, I'm the hotel's greeter. There is an Asian surnamed Yang here. He said that he is an old acquaintance of yours and wants to see you," said the greeter. "What? Surnamed Yang?" Batterton jumped up from the sofa with a whoosh. He thought of a person who could change his fate. Thinking of this, Batterton immediately said, "Help me greet him." "I'll be down right away." "Right away. Don't be negligent." "Yes." Although the greeter did not know why Batterton had such a huge reaction, she thought that this Asian surnamed Yang, who was not far away from her, was a very great person. That was why Batterton was like this. "Mr. Yang, the boss said that he will be down right away. I will make you a cup of tea first." The greeter was naturally respectful to Yang Ming since she was instructed by Batterton. "Okay, but you don't have to trouble yourself," Yang Ming said, "just give me a bottle of mineral water." "Yes, Mr. Yang." The greeter quickly went to get a bottle of mineral water and handed it to Yang Ming. Then, she respectfully retreated to the side, waiting for Yang Ming's other instructions. Batterton ran out of the elevator. Sure enough, he saw Yang Ming sitting on the sofa at a glance. He quickly ran over. I was wondering why the magpies kept chirping today. It turns out that Mr. Yang has graced us with his presence. It's such an honor." Chapter 2273. Are there any magpies here? Yang Ming glanced at Batterton and shrugged. Ugh. Batterton was a little embarrassed. "Forget it. I see that you have put on weight again. You seem to be living a good life?" asked Yang Ming faintly. "Good life." Batterton smiled bitterly. "Thanks to Mr. Yang, it has been quite good during this time, but what? The hotel's profits have been handed over to me. Don't you have anything else to gain?" asked Yang Ming. However, the Douglas Vast Hotel's income was indeed high, and it increased month by month. It could be seen that Batterton worked very hard, and he probably didn't gain any more benefits from it. That's not it. How would I dare to touch Mr. Yang's money? Batterton shook his head quickly. "It's my honor to serve Mr. Yang, but I'm afraid that I won't be able to serve Mr. Yang in the future." "What's wrong? Are you going to die?" asked Yang Ming, baffled. It's almost the same as dying. The family's elders suggested that I retire." Batterton smiled bitterly. "Previously, because of Mr. Yang, not only was I allowed to stay here to help Mr. Yang manage the business, but I also became a member of the family's elders and received dividends from the family business. But, recently, someone wants to impeach me and ask me to retire." "Oh, I know about this." Yang Ming knew that Batterton was complaining to him, but Yang Ming was never stingy with people like Batterton who could work for him well. For Yang Ming, letting Batterton continue to live a good life was just a matter of a phone call. "Ah, thank you, Mr. Yang." Batterton was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect Yang Ming to agree so easily. "Mr. Yang, thank you for your kindness. I will work hard to manage the Douglas Vast Hotel as always," Batterton said. "Okay, I'll call Kaik now," said Yang Ming as he took out his phone and dialed Kaik's number. "Mr. Yang." When Kaik saw Yang Ming's phone number, he suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. He vaguely guessed something, but he still didn't dare to refuse Yang Ming's call. "Kaik, it's me. I'm at the Douglas Vast Hotel in Las Vegas. I heard that I won't be able to see Batterton the next time I come. You want to replace him? Is there such a situation?" Yang Ming asked directly. Where did this rumor come from? Which son of a bitch started this rumor? That was impossible. It's not like our Douglas family doesn't want to live anymore. How would we dare to casually replace someone that Mr. Yang thinks highly of? That's absolutely impossible. Kaik cursed to the heavens. "Oh, then it must be a rumor. Yang Ming said, then it's fine. This is good news. Otherwise, I might visit you personally after I'm done with the things here. As for the person who started the rumor, you'd better find him. Otherwise, I'll personally look for him. That would be a completely different problem. Yes, yes. Family Master Kaik was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He scolded his second elder in his heart. This guy is really looking for trouble. He almost brought a disaster to the family again. After Yang Ming hung up the phone, Kaik urgently convened a family meeting of the Douglas family. At the meeting, Kaik didn't say a word. He just played the recording of the previous phone call. The second elder's face turned ashen immediately. The members of the Elder Council who supported the second elder previously were also silent at this moment. They didn't dare to say a word. Second elder, you are old and confused. You can retire now, Kaik said faintly. Does everyone agree? Agree. Of course, we support. We firmly support the family master's decision. These elder council members who used to support the second elder and wanted to share Batterton's dividends had now completely turned to support the Kaik family master. They all knew about Yang Ming's ability. If they disobeyed Yang Ming at this time, it would be another matter whether the Douglas family would still exist tomorrow. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. If the tree is gone, why would they care about such a small share of the profits? Although the second elder was unwilling, he didn't know what to say. Second elder, you have also received a lot of family dividends over the years. Now, you should retire safely and enjoy life. This is the family master's protection for you. Otherwise, if you still sit in this position, I'm afraid that not only will Yang Ming not let you go, but he will also vent his anger on our whole family," said the third elder. "I understand." The second elder sighed. "I was too greedy. It was all my fault for being greedy. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. It was useless for him to regret. I think we should give the dividends under the second elder's name to Batterton. I'll call Mr. Yang back now." Kaik didn't dare to neglect. He had to report the results to Yang Ming as soon as possible in order to avoid any unexpected events. No one objected to Kaik's proposal. The dividends under the second elder's name were a hot potato. Whoever took it at this moment would be unlucky, so it was better to give it to Batterton. This family meeting was very short. It started quickly and ended quickly. The second elder abdicated in dejection. Kaik also dialed Yang Ming's phone. Yang Ming was naturally satisfied with Kaik's handling result. Yang Ming was just scaring Kaik before, but he didn't expect Kaik to take it so seriously. Yang Ming naturally couldn't say anything more. He told Batterton the result, but Batterton was a little flattered. "Mr. Yang, I'm ashamed to accept this bonus. How about this? I'll keep the previous bonus, and this extra bonus will be remitted to your wife, Madame Huang Lele, together with the annual profits of the Douglas Vast Hotel. How about that?" Batterton wasn't stupid, nor was he greedy. He knew that this was the only way to make Yang Ming support him. "All right, do as you see fit." Although Yang Ming didn't care about such a small amount of money, he cared about Batterton's attitude. Now it seemed that Batterton did a good job, which made Yang Ming very satisfied. "Thank you, Mr. Yang." Batterton gave Yang Ming the money, but he still thanked Yang Ming, which made Yang Ming very satisfied. "Okay, give me a few rooms. Give me 3 rooms first." Yang Ming calculated. 1 room for Dong Jun, 1 for Chu Pengzhan, and 1 for Yiwan, Including his own room, there were exactly 3 rooms. "Okay, I will open the special VIP rooms." Batterton reserved 5 VIP rooms. One of them was for Yang Ming's exclusive use, and the other 4 rooms were for emergency use in case of emergencies. Yang Ming only asked for 3 rooms, so it wasn't a problem. Chapter 2274. Otherwise, Batterton would have to empty out his office. Of course, if he was asked to move out of the office, he would be happy. He would rather move to the corridor to work and serve Yang Ming well. Okay, there's nothing else for the time being. I'll look for you again, Yang Ming nodded and said. VIP Presidential Room 1 was the room Yang Ming used to live in. After that, it was cleaned up and no one lived in it anymore, including the members of the Douglas family's elder council. Even Kaik himself only stayed in VIP Presidential Suite 2 when he came here. He didn't dare to stay in Suite 1 casually. It was the same room as last time. After Yang Ming entered the room, he didn't contact Dong Jun first because Dong Jun said that he wanted to change his number. So, even if Yang Ming called now, he probably wouldn't be able to find Dong Jun and could easily bring trouble to him. So, Yang Ming still patiently waited for Dong Jun to take the initiative to contact him. However, Yang Ming could call Chu Pengzhan and Wan first. Thinking of this, Yang Ming dialed Chu Pengzhan's number that Chu Sanwa gave him. However, when he dialed the phone, the other party gave a notification that the phone was turned off. Yang Ming couldn't help but be shocked. In theory, Chu Sanwa should have told Chu Pengzhan and the others that he was coming to help them. How could his phone be turned off? However, to rule out the possibility of the phone running out of battery, Yang Ming dialed Wan's phone again. The other side was still turned off. This made Yang Ming a little suspicious. What happened to these two people? Yang Ming had no choice but to call Lu Weishan. He didn't have Chu Sanwa's number, but he thought that Chu Sanwa should still be waiting for news at Lu Weishan's house. Big Ming. Aunt Chu answered the phone. As soon as she picked up the phone, Aunt Chu said hurriedly, Big Ming, I was just about to call you. Something happened. Something happened? What happened? Yang Ming's heart sank. Sure enough, the thing he didn't want to see the most had already happened. Earlier, Chu Pengzhan called us and said that those people seemed to have found them, and that they had to turn off their phones before they could escape. Those people probably know their phone numbers by now, so they had to turn off their phones. Aunt Chu said. Aunt Chu, but I haven't gotten in touch with them yet. What should we do? Yang Ming frowned. He had his X-ray vision, but finding a single person in Las Vegas was an extremely difficult task. Plus, Pengzhan and the others might not even be in Las Vegas. Oh right, I wanted to tell Chu Pengzhan about you going to help, but I didn't have the time to tell him. I just said that Langgu Jr. was protecting them and hung up. Aunt Chu thought for a while and said, I wanted to ask more, but I couldn't call back. Langgu Jr. Yang Ming was stunned. He suddenly thought of something and said, Okay, Aunt Chu, I should know how to find them now. Let's not talk about it for now. The situation should be very urgent. Okay. Aunt Chu didn't say anything more. She also knew the seriousness of the situation and didn't dare to delay. After hanging up the phone, Yang Ming dialed Batterton's number directly. Yang Ming remembered that after he helped Pengzhan and Wan settle the matter with Langgu Sr. and Langgu Jr. last time, Yang Ming seemed to remember that Langgu Jr. ran to school to be Pengzhan and Wan's personal bodyguard. If this was really the case, then Langgu Jr. should be by Pengzhan's side when they were in trouble this time. Therefore, what Yang Ming needed to do now was to get Langgu Jr.'s contact information. Mr. Yang, is there anything I can help you with? Batterton had been waiting in the office for Yang Ming's call. At this time, he picked up the phone and quickly asked in fear and trepidation. Do you have Langgu Jr.'s phone number? Yang Ming didn't talk nonsense with Batterton because of the urgency of the matter. Langgu Jr.? No, but can I have Langgu Sr.'s phone number? Asked Batterton. Give it to me, said Yang Ming. Okay, Langgu Sr.'s phone number is. Batterton reported a group of numbers as he spoke. Okay. After Yang Ming wrote it down, he hung up the phone directly. Batterton was a little confused. He didn't know why Yang Ming was looking for Langgu Jr., but since Yang Ming didn't say, he wouldn't ask more. After Yang Ming got the number, he dialed Langgu Sr.'s phone number directly. Hello. Langus Sr. looked at the unfamiliar number on the phone. He didn't want to answer, but he was afraid of missing an important call, so he still answered. This was because Langu Jr. was asking for help just now. He had sent a large number of gang members to support, so he must keep in touch with Langu Jr. at all times. Langus Sr.? I'm Yang Ming. Yang Ming said directly, I'm looking for Langu Jr. for something. Give me his phone number. Yang Ming. You are that great god Yang, Mr. Yang. When Langus Sr. heard Yang Ming's name, he was excited for no reason. If Yang Ming is here, then everything will be easy to solve. As long as Yang Ming appears, then everything will be fine. I'm Yang Ming, but I'm not that great god Yang. Yang Ming said, your son and Chu Zhe are very likely to be in danger. Quickly give me his contact information. Ah, yes. Langus Sr. originally wanted to explain and let Yang Ming help, but he didn't expect that Yang Ming already knew that his son and Zhe were in danger and was ready to help. This saved Langus Sr. the time to talk nonsense was saved. Thinking of this, Langus Sr. quickly told Yang Ming Langu Jr.'s phone number and their current location. Mr. Yang, Langu Jr. just called to ask for help. They were besieged and blocked in an abandoned garbage treatment plant in the suburbs in the east. I have sent people to help, but it is said that the other party is very powerful. Okay, I got it. Yang Ming didn't listen to Langus Sr.'s explanation of how powerful the people blocking them were. How can a cultivator not be powerful? Yang Ming naturally knew how powerful a cultivator was, so Yang Ming's top priority was to get there as soon as possible. If he was late, there might be great danger. In order to save time, after hanging up the phone, Yang Ming opened the door of the room's balcony and jumped directly from the hotel's balcony window on the 20th floor. With the Jin Gang voodoo, Yang Ming was not afraid of any damage caused by falling downstairs. Chapter 2275. It was said that Yang Ming's super Herculean voodoo wouldn't die even if he was hit by a meteorite or a bomb, let alone jumping off a building. Sure enough, not only was Yang Ming fine after falling to the ground, but he also didn't even fall down with his superb Qigong footwork. Yang Ming's jump was more eye-catching than the special effects in movies. However, no one noticed when Yang Ming jumped down. After Yang Ming landed, no one knew where he jumped from, so no one paid attention to him. While calling Langu Jr., Yang Ming got into a taxi that was waiting at the entrance of the Douglas Hotel. He said to the driver, go to the abandoned garbage treatment plant in the eastern suburbs. There was an old garbage treatment plant in the eastern suburbs. Although it had been out of use for a long time, the taxi driver was familiar with it. After listening to Yang Ming's instructions, he started the car directly and drove to the destination. Hello? Langu Jr. picked up the phone with sweat all over his forehead. He, Pengzhan, and Wan were hiding in the dirty and smelly garbage. However, there was no other way. This place was currently the safest hiding place. Fortunately, Langu Jr. was from the street racer gang. His driving skills in the city were top-notch. That was how he got rid of the people who were chasing him and hid in this garbage dump. In the city, the people on the other side didn't dare to make a move too openly. They only chased after them, which gave Langu Jr. an opportunity. The terrain advantage and the advantage of driving skills. Another thing was that he knew this garbage dump. This used to be the street racer gang's territory. However, although the car was still far away, the people on the other side would definitely find them one by one. Although Langu Jr. had already contacted Langu Sr. and asked him to send elite reinforcements, they were hiding in the garbage dump. After Pengzhan told him the identity and strength of the people on the other side, as well as their own identity and strength, Langu Jr. suddenly felt a chill in his heart. What kind of people did Pengzhan and Wan offend? These people were actually woolly masters? He was afraid that even the elite sent by his father wouldn't be able to fight against these people with guns. However, Langu Jr. was now on the same side as Chu Pengzhan and Wan. Moreover, They got along well during this period of time, so Langgood Jr. didn't regret being in such a dangerous situation with them. He was just thinking about how to get out of this situation. If his father's men weren't their opponents, then they would find this place sooner or later. And he wouldn't be their opponents. Peng Zhan and Wan would be in danger by then. At this moment, Langgood Jr.'s phone vibrated. Langgood Jr. didn't look at the caller ID in the garbage and picked up the phone directly. Langgood Jr., I am Yang Ming. Where are you? I'm heading to your place, but the hotel I'm staying at is a bit far from your location. The Douglas Vast Hotel where Yang Ming stayed and the garbage treatment plant in the eastern suburbs were a bit opposite. They were in two completely different directions. Ah, it's Mr. Yang. Great, we're in the garbage treatment plant. There are 3 piles of garbage. We're hiding in the middle pile of garbage. It's great that you're here. With you here, we can definitely deal with those people. Langgood Jr. was overjoyed when he heard Yang Ming's voice. With Yang Ming's help, they were confident in dealing with those people. He had seen how powerful Yang Ming was with his own eyes. What's wrong? Seeing Langgood Jr.'s excited expression, Peng Zhan couldn't help but ask, do you have a good idea? It's Mr. Yang. Mr. Yang is here. We're saved. Langgood Jr. said excitedly. Mr. Yang? Peng Zhan was stunned. He didn't realize who Mr. Yang was. It's Yang Ming, Mr. Yang. In the beginning, you and I met because of Mr. Yang. Langgood Jr. explained quickly. Ah. It's him. Peng Zhan immediately knew who Mr. Yang was after Langgood Jr. said that. Why is he here? Is he here to help us? He's very powerful. If he's willing to help, we might still have hope. Hearing that Yang Ming was here, Peng Zhan was very excited. His originally sad expression became more hopeful. However, as soon as this expectation appeared, Wan poured a basin of cold water on his head. Even if he's here, I'm afraid he's not their opponent. Wan smiled bitterly and said, Peng Zhan, you don't know how powerful they are. They're not comparable to ordinary warriors. They don't appear easily, so no matter how I describe them, you won't understand how powerful they are. That Mr. Yang, when he helped us, I also knew that he was very powerful, but although he's very powerful, it's only limited to the secular world. At our level, his martial arts can only be considered very shallow. Speaking of this, Wan sighed. She didn't want to destroy Peng Zhan and Langgood Jr.'s confidence, but this was the truth. Otherwise, the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. As for the name she called Peng Zhan, since her identity had been revealed to Langgood Jr., she didn't need to hide it anymore. She no longer used the identity of Chen Zhe and Tao Linfang. Ah. Peng Zhan and Langgood Jr. were shocked and they heard Wan's words. They said in shock, really? It can't be. Even Mr. Yang can't do anything, then Mr. Yang's martial arts. Wan helplessly shook her head. It's not as powerful as my martial arts before it was sealed. And this time, it should be the Grand Elder who personally led the team. Although elderly, this elder who has a good relationship with me also came along, in front of the Grand Elder. He doesn't have much authority to speak. And the Grand Elder is many, many times more powerful than me. Mr. Yang, how could he be his opponent? Then, after Peng Zhan heard this, he was very disappointed and worried. Then if Mr. Yang comes, wouldn't it be the same as harming him? That's right. We should inform him in advance and tell him not to come. It's futile even if he comes. He might even die. Wan sighed. Then I'll call him now. Langgood Jr. picked up the phone disappointedly. Just as he was about to make the call, suddenly there was a sound of a car near the garbage dump. The 3 of them heard the sound of a car and were shocked. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.